Happy Big Wednesday. Welcome, welcome. We are now on stream streak number what now? 52? Sheesh. Hello, Tanukers. How you doing, man? Today's stream is brought to you by Momcore. Damn. Not the Momcore. Hello, everybody. I'm like, should I play some games first? Just a little bit before we start watching some stuff? Or should we just get on with it? Yo, Max, what is up, dude? Hope you guys are doing well. Welcome, welcome. So you all might be wondering, right? Why the hell are we doing a watch along and not playing games? Well, because I do want to stream like the entirety of the Injustice story, you know, leading up to the Superman movie on July 11th. And I just want to reminisce the good old times of Superman being a bad guy before he becomes a good guy again. So hello everybody. So the way this works is that every Wednesday, right, we'll do something Injustice related. Watch along reaction time, something like that. Like how do you say this? I do remember some parts of this Injustice story in the comics, but not the whole thing. So that's why we're gonna watch this thing. What about you, Max? Did you know the story of Injustice other than the games? Did you know how this all went down? Cause it's kind of crazy, man. Kinda. Like, I know what the main things are in the story, but the details are a bit blurry. Like every week we'll do something Injustice story mode related. Like this week and 2 weeks from now, we will what do you call this? Watch the Comicstorian. Bless his soul, by the way. He just recently moved up to the upper rooms. Other than the characters died in dumb ways, no, I don't. Yeah. It gets intense. That's all I can say right now. Yeah, rest in peace to the Comicstorian as well, because around last year, right? He moved on to greater things, away from planet Earth. And I think this is like one of his most viewed videos as well on the channel. He died too young. 40 years old, man. 40 years too young. Now, how are you guys doing? Hope you guys are doing well today. Hope you guys are doing good right now. I think we'll do it on top of the hour. I think we'll do it on top of the hour. Like right now, let's just wait for other people to visit, say hi, all that fun stuff. I do apologize, I stream a bit late, but I was supposed to go live, but internet was not working at the time. I was like, all right, I'll wait it out. And then internet just came back and it's now working again, and we're here. So there is that. I think Fortnite just got an update as well. I think we'll check that out tomorrow. Oh, by the way, chat, I got all the profile pics now from the current rotation of Tekken tournaments. Yeah, check this out. No, not this one. There we go. We got the Azucena. We got the Feng Wei. We got the Jin and Hwoarang. And then the Lydia one was already there in the first rotation, so I don't have like 7 so far. I want to get all of them, man. I'm waiting for the Lars one. I'm waiting for the Elisa one. Yeah, chat. Oh, what is this? Oh, Uncharted. This is where I got all the items for Uncharted. Yeah, when I still had the game. Bam, played Splitgate 2 for the first time? Garbage! I mean, I do gotta play something different for the channel, right? Just explore some games here and there. Explore some free-to-play games. Also, we made it to Superstar. Yeah. We made it to Superstar rank again, chat. In Fall Guys last night. We had like what, 5 wins in a row to get here? It was a legendary run, if I do say so myself. Because the finals games there is like games that I know I can win, which is a relief. Yeah, another Superstar. Lars to Raijin. Yep, that happened as well. Oh, by the way, happy birthday to K-Dash. I think his birthday's like June 18th. So big happy birthday to him, right? One of my spiritual coaches in Tekken. People still hate this character because he's actually good now, right? They rather have him be garbage at the game. I digress. But he made it. What else do we have here? Oh, this is the last thing we did to get the trophy. I am gonna miss this game. Batman Arkham Knight? I am gonna miss it. I might play it every now and then, but maybe not on stream. 69 AR stars. Simulation complete. Helldivers. This is where I just got I got bodied by bugs. Failed to extract. So sad. What is this trophy? Eat this. Jesus. Right in front of my face. Mega Man. This is like the most I've gotten. This is the most one-ups I've gotten in like a Mega Man game. 16. Is that it? What game I should download next that we should add in our collection? I could start playing Marvel Rivals again. Barf. I still have to play this. I still have to play this. This, if I find someone to play this with. I still have to play Tunic. I still have to play Sifu. I still have to play RoboCop. Do I have access to this? No, I don't. Yeah, these are like the games that I do want to play again. RoboCop, Turtles, Need for Speed, Suicide Squad, Ninja Squad. It Takes Two, Tunic, Sifu. We'll get there, chat. We will get there. Right now, when's the next update for Ashabot? Come on! I wanna play more! This is not enough! Did it say 2 platinum trophies? No, 2 gold trophies. $10 hours, 27 hours, 21 hours, 22 hours. Bam. I just went and randomly watched 10 most broken Tekken characters from Mojo Plays. Why? Most broken characters from Tekken? Why? Yeah, I hope you guys are doing well today. Like I mentioned, chat, like I mentioned, I don't feel like my birthday's coming this Friday. Or I don't have the excitement for it. What's up, Ratchet? Hope you guys are doing well. I don't know. Maybe I'm just getting into that age, right? Of, oh yeah, my birthday. I just want to get this over with. I don't know. And I think someone in the chat yesterday as well said, oh, they're gonna plan a surprise birthday party for the... No. Like, we are all scattered all across the earth right now. Maybe not on my day, on like a weekend or something, but they're busy doing other stuff right now. Where's the real Max? What did you do with him, this guy? Yeah, Steve watched like what? My father's really like that for real? Oh no. Am I on Unk status, chat? Am I an Unk now? Come June 20th, I'm gonna be not 35 years old. Oh no. Anyway, hello everybody. Hope you guys are doing good. Hope you guys are doing well. And yeah. A part, yeah. Like a small part of me, well, I used to have this part where I want to go back and play Street Fighter. But after what Steve had to go through with that game, right? And what else? Like Street Fighter 6 right now, it's not working normally. Probably because of the Switch 2 release or whatever. Where, what do you call this? You play online and the game crashes mid-match. Or whenever you try to join a cabinet, it crashes and all that. But no one wants to play Tekken anymore either, man. I'm like, me and Bam are like the last ones. And Ronimus. And we're like the last ones holding the fort for Tekken hate. Everyone hates this game right now. I did see Ulsan still playing Lars, still labbing the character, which is good, but against Pakistan, that character is not viable at all. I'm an Unk now. Well, I'm gonna be an Unk on Friday. Like I mentioned, chat, tomorrow will be the birthday stream, and then Friday, I think it'll just be like a short actual birthday stream, because I don't know if there's something that's gonna happen on Friday, right? If I stream early, it means nothing happened. If I stream late, that means something happened. Okay? Okay. Use Superman style. Team Rumble is officially dead. Damn. Ayunk L. I like that. I was an Unk like last weekend, right? I'm like that spoiled Unk where me and the kids, the nephews and the nieces, went to, what do you call this? Went to get some large pizza, some donut cakes, and just played a lot of fighting games. A lot of fighting games. And they prefer Tekken, and they prefer Injustice too. Which I think that's what What do you call this? That's what. What is this? What is this? There's something. You guys see that, chat? Like there's something going on over there. Is it the camera's issue? I cannot have a camera issue right now. Hang on. Let me fix this. Let me turn this off real quick. I said turn this off. There we go. Alright, let me just clean this real quick. Hopefully. Yeah. There, it's gone now. Alright, I was like, there's something right over there that's bothering me. And now it disappeared. Also, chat, I may or may not have ordered a cheesecake. It's expensive nowadays. It's absurd. Like a simple 8-inch cheesecake costs like almost $40, which is absurd. Like, chat, it's just an 8-inch, and it's not even thick, or it's not even tall. I'm like, are you kidding me? I mean, if it's made with love and decorations and unnecessary crap, then sure. Did I just saw a Nerd Venom emote in Marvel Rivals? He like me for real? Yeah, the actually. Actually, it's pronounced Leviosa, not Leviosa. I heard there's a Human Torch Future Foundation for free, but chat, I wish I still care for Rivals, because right now, like, chat, for real, it's not even in my list anymore. Tekken, Fall Guys, Fortnite, Ashabashi Fire 6, Helldivers, Injustice, Capcom Fighting Collection 2, Marvel Collection. It's not even on my list anymore. That's how much Rivals has fallen off of me. Like, I don't know. Like I said, me losing because it's my fault, I can handle that. Fall Guys, Fortnite, fighting games, I can handle that, right? Me doing a good job, or me doing my part, and still we lost, yeah, that's gonna tick me off. Because you did your part, you did your best, but unfortunately, your teammates are garbage. It's like, what? I scored 32 eliminations for our team, and still we didn't win? Nani? Like, do I have to give an arm and a leg to make this work? To win? Ugh. You have some skill issue, team. I can't say that, though. I can't say that because they're just gonna deflect it on me. I was like, maybe it's your fault you're not doing a good job. I'm like, I'm not doing a good job. Look at the stats! I've been busted out here and you guys are not doing squat. Yeah, GG no heal. Oh, don't worry. I turned off the chat in Rivals because I'm not about that noise. Yeah, shout out to Fantastic Four though. They kept my interest in that game a little longer. If not for them, I would have been bored by that game long ago. Because Captain America, he's not a damage character. He's just a defense dive mosquito character. I tried playing Hawkeye as well. Didn't work out as much. And if I do decide to play Rivals again off stream, I just rather do AI. Like, I'm fine missing out on costumes or whatever. I don't care anymore. You can kiss my FOMO. But those emotes are staying, Max. Those emotes are staying because I do love the 4. And they're free. I might as well get them. What is this? Yoshimitsu and Dragunov. Dojin, why? Be like Ulsan, man. Still sticking with Lars. Yeah, Ulsan's Esports World Cup is in jeopardy because right now Pakistan is just doing work. Oh man. Hi. The goon hunts you by the eyes. God. Yeah, the more I look at that game, the more I'm not missing it, if that makes sense. Not that I don't like it, or not that I hate it, but I'm at a point right now where, well, if I'm missing out, then I'm missing out, right? It is not the end of the world if I'm not doing well, or if I'm not missing much in Rivals. I don't know what else to say about that game. Like, I'll still play it on stream once when a new character is out. I am not gonna learn my lesson, chat. I'm not gonna learn my lesson. I'm not gonna learn my lesson. I'm just gonna be stubborn. I'm just gonna be pathetic. I will keep playing that game when a new thingy is out. When a new character is out. Not new content, new character. But if my teammates, I'll say this right now, whoever you are, and I'm gonna call you out right now. This is a call out. This is a public special message, a PSA. I'm gonna call you out right now. I'm gonna keep finger pointing you. I'm gonna keep finger pointing you. If I go back to Rivals and we lose more than win, we're not playing that game again. I'm gonna give you guys time to prepare. I'm gonna give you guys time to practice. I'm gonna give you guys time to do your very best, right? I'm gonna give you all the time in the world to play as much Rivals as possible, but I'm gonna tell you right now, if I go back to that game, I start inviting all y'all mother fifers, and we just lose more than we win. Nah, you're not seeing Rivals again on my stream. I'm gonna give you one more chance. I'll give you one more chance. So y'all better make it count. Alright. Yeah, more fingers than the finger creepers in Elden Ring. I don't know what that is, but it looks like a lot of fingers. Huh? Huh? You're on watch. Alright. You're on S watch. Max wanted to play Tekken with Steve when he resubbed to the channel. And Steve's like, no, I'm watching CEO. Why didn't we watch CEO? And Max is like, Father's Day. Which is a good excuse. But it's nice. It's nice that Max still has that Tekken itch. And I want him to keep that itch, chat. As selfish as this sounds, I want him to keep that itch. Which means he doesn't have to play that game a lot, but you know, still have that feeling that you still want to play. Yo, Sell Your Bean, what's up, dude? Returning chatter, I see. Welcome, welcome. Hope you're doing well. Thank you for being here. And if you're wondering what the hell are we gonna do today, we're just gonna watch something. We're gonna watch something called uh, Comicstorian Injustice, because for the next couple of Wednesdays, we're gonna be doing this story mode of Injustice: Gods Among Us. But I feel like a lot of you do not know the story of the comics just yet, and how, what do you call this? And how good that story is. Yo, Mimi, what's up, dude? Thank you for being here. Thank you, everyone, for being here. I know I started a bit late, but there was no internet at the time, you know, because it was raining here. And then I had to contact my internet services and be like, hey. And there we go. Elden Ring images. Oh god, what is this? Thanks, Tanuki. Yeah. That's exactly what I want to see today. Yeah, thanks. Tanuki always comes in clutch chat for information we didn't know we need. How you doing, Celia? Usually you're in Staz's streams, but now you're here? What's going on? I have a third eye, chat. I watch you guys. Alright, let me ready this up, because I'm pretty sure I'm gonna run into some ads first. There it is. Hey. Staz isn't streaming at the moment. So you're here. You ended the stream early? Yeah. Well, I hope he's doing well. Sometimes whenever he streams early and ends early, he is busy, or he got something in the background cooking. So he's doing good. He's doing okay. I miss playing Staz in Tekken, but I get where he's coming from. He doesn't want to commit in Tekken yet because... Oh god. Third eye like 10 in DBZ? No, third eye like Doctor Strange. Maybe it's because of the family trip thing, I don't know. Oh yeah, I think he mentioned something about that. They're gonna go on a trip. This is why Staz is having like a debate right now as to where he should spend his money next, right? Or what is the next big goal he wants to have? Should he have a PlayStation 5 so he can play games with Steve and us in the collections? But the downside of that is he has to pay for PS Plus and all that other fun crap. Or should he get a Steam Deck so that whenever he does go outside and do these family trips, he got his gaming device ready? And then I'm like, Stats, if you drop that thing, it's over. If you drop that thing while you guys are on the road, it's over. I told him to get a PS5 and a PlayStation Portal after, but you know, he's got no balls. Tony has a dark hole locked away with his socks and underwear. Tanuki, how dare you? It's in my lingerie drawer. You have a PS4? That's cool. No worry, there's no shame in saying you have a PS4, because most of the games that I have here are still PS4 versions. Steam Deck over PS Portal? So here's the thing, Max. Because I'm neck deep of my PlayStation games collection, I'd rather get the Portal at this point in terms of like being the cheapskate. And from what I'm hearing as well, getting a PS Portal with like carry-on router Wi-Fi is not bad. It's not bad at all. Alright, chat. I'll give you guys some extra time to just prepare and get ready, because this thing that we're about to watch is almost 3 hours. And because we're going to be pausing and playing the video every now and then, this might take up to like 4 or 5 hours. So we're going to be here for a while. So for those of you who are wondering what the hell we're doing, we're watching a Comicstorian video called Injustice Gods Among Us Year 1 through 5. This is to help us understand. So this is based on the video game, obviously. And after the game was released, they started releasing these digital comic book issues every other week to show you guys the story of what happened throughout the 5 years between, you know, Superman losing Metropolis and to where we are in the game. It's 6 a.m. for you? Well, good morning, silly. Wait, what the hell are you from? Oh, you're from the West Coast. You're from West Coast, Best Coast. California dreaming. Everything is expensive. A glass of water is $7. Yeah, welcome to California, where everything is 3 times as expensive. Traffic everywhere, earthquakes, forest fires, and you need to have 3 jobs there just to pay your rent. You're moving soon though? Nice, nice. Wait, where are you moving? Where do you plan on moving, Beans? I'm gonna judge you harshly. Where are you moving, huh? What are the plans? What are the multiple choices? Charleston, South Carolina. Oh, you're gonna be on East Coast. You're gonna be in the East Coast, Beast Coast. So you want to see my streams a bit earlier, huh? Or a bit later. Like, you don't want to wake up at 5:30 a.m. just to watch this bum stream in front of your face. Nah. You want to wake up at 7:30 a.m. to see me live. I did dabble around that idea before, right, chat? Where if I do decide to move to America, I don't mind living near the countryside if it means I don't have to deal with overpriced BS. You have sleeping problems? We all have sleeping problems. For me, I would go to Georgia. Because, you know, the ATL Koreans are there. There's a fighting game scene in Georgia. And that's where Xavier Woods is from. That's where AJ Styles is from. And it's a perfect balance between the city and the country, which I don't mind, actually. I really don't mind. I know every state is like, oh, don't go there. No, don't go there. Don't go to Chicago, it's too cold. There's a lot of crime there. No, don't go to California. Traffic, everything expensive there. No, don't go to Vegas, man. It's just gonna eat your money alive. No, don't go to New York. Our pollution sucks here. Everywhere you go, there's always a downside to every state. No, don't go to Texas, man. It's too hot there. It doesn't snow. What the hell? Like, where do you want me to go, Chad? Do you want me to go to Wyoming? You want me to go to Wisconsin? Huh? You want me to go to Idaho? All those weird stuff. You want me to go to a place where there's no sports team in that state, in that city? Yeah, I can do that. I visited New York for a week and witnessed a drive-by happen. Yup. This is why, where I currently live right now, it's nice. It's kind of nice. Very nice. Very even. Yeah, I have my guard dogs as well. Every car that goes by, they're just gonna start barking. They know how to protect their master. I'm the master. Show enough. But yeah, man. Especially if you're a lady, right? If you're a lady and you're still outside by 9 p.m., oh boy. All kinds of fears and anxieties is just gonna run through your veins. Like, you need to have a car, or a motorcycle, or a bodyguard, or something, anything. Having to deal with snow? I'm not gonna deal with snow. We deal with the rain here. Yeah, chat. I'm contacting the cheesecake person. and I don't like it when they don't reply a lot immediately. I'm like, that's a bit sus. But I have seen their work, I have seen their thingy, and it's not bad so far. Cheesecake, yeah. In case you didn't know, Mimi, them dollars donated $40. They donated $40 to this channel and said, go get a cheesecake for your birthday. I'm like, alright, goddamn, jeez. So now I am obligated to show that cheesecake on Twitter. And then I'll just put insert caption here. Happy birthday, I guess. I don't tweet much nowadays, chat. I don't know what the hell to tweet. Right. Even if I have these like adventure stuff happening with me in real life, I don't take pictures of it like a lunatic, right? Where I'm like, you know. No. Like, sure, I'll post some pictures of us, but I don't post all of them. Are you kidding me? Do you have 5-star chicken fast food restaurant in the Philippines? I won't say 5-star from the critics. 5-star in my heart, right? But yes, I do have 5-star chicken fast food restaurant in the Philippines, and it's called My Mom's Cooking. I don't care what kind of 5-star places we got over here. You're not gonna beat My Mom's Cooking. Hell no. Something about food being made by your parents, man. It just hits differently. Home cook. Chad, should I order a blueberry cheesecake or an Oreo cheesecake? Don't lie, you carry selfie sticks on your back like Donatello carries his bow staffs. Shut up! Family cooking is a whole different level compared to restaurant food. It is. It's a whole different level, man. Because they know how to make food good for you. Right? Because they got years of experience, bruv. Blueberry? You want blueberry? Oh, just kidding. Have you guys eaten raw blueberry? Outside of dessert? Like just the fruit itself? Have you guys done that? No? Oh, damn. Yeah? Yeah. Blueberry's not bad. Has that sourness into it. In my experience, that is, yeah, that's the fun part as well. Is that your parents can have this different twist on your favorite food, and they'll make it better. Better. Oh, mon ami. Oh. I know I just did that. I'm so racist. Anyways, yeah. Hopefully this cheesecake makes it by the end of the week, so I could show it off. I'm not gonna eat it. Y'all are ugly. But I'm just gonna show it off, and then I'll just take a picture of it, post it on socials, and then that'll be that. I don't know. I know if I'm trying to grow like if I'm trying to grow my social presence, I need to be active to as many socials as possible, but I'm not about that life, man. Alright, chat. 5 minutes remaining and then we'll start. Lars, let's go. Your Lars is very cool. The only restaurants have twist and taste is when the food tastes worse than before. I hate that. I hate that, by the way. You order the same usual stuff, and then at first bite or at first glance, you can already tell something's wrong with it. Chat, I'm not one to be like, oh, waiter, waitress, excuse me, but your food doesn't taste good or something. Like, sometimes I just rock with it, and if something's wrong with my stomach, I just sue them. Like, I'm just gonna sue you, right? On time restaurants. Oh, we're just right there. Is it really that bad? Alright, chat, y'all ready for this? I'm not gonna play any games today because we're gonna do it tomorrow on the birthday stream. But we'll just get this thing ready over here. I'm gonna get this ready over here. And I'm gonna get this ready over here. So this may or may not make it to YouTube because there'll be like copyright issues and all that. But I'm pretty sure Bill over here is going to address that as well. They're going to address the, what do you call this? The copyright stuff. So hopefully I don't get flagged by this or get in trouble for uploading this. All right, so we're just gonna find out together as a family. Sometimes keeping socials updated can be tough, especially if they have a YouTube or streaming account. Fan base for someone YouTube quit uploading because of the social pressure. They haven't uploaded in 3 or 4 years. Yeah. Like, sure, you can make a career out of it, but at the same time, you have to be, it's challenging. It's challenging. You have to be consistent. You have to keep in touch. You need to catch up with the trend and everything. And sometimes I just can't do that. Like, I rather play the same games I play for the past 20 years than play something that just came out and force myself to enjoy it. Yeah, I mean? Yeah, Ben Potter. Shout out to this guy, man. People think he was becoming depressed or something because he wasn't as energetic as before. Yeah, he went to a restaurant. Which we like, which takes an hour to do. And when we tasted the usual food we love, it tasted worse. We were disappointed and time was wasted for nothing. Yeah, I hate that. I really do hate that. How we just burnt out. Yeah, burnout is a real thing. Beans. That's what I'm going through right now. I'm legit burnout right now when it comes to streaming, because I've been streaming for like 52 straight days. And you know, you'd be like, "Oh, take a break, Tony, if the streams have been getting into you." I'm like, "No, I'm doing this because, you know, countdown to my birthday stream." But yeah, Chad, this weekend will be like my first time taking a break from streaming, just to be away from you guys. And yeah, because we're trying to finish the goal at the bottom left of this screen over here, but I feel like we're not gonna make it at all. So I don't know what the hell we're gonna do with this progress bar. It is what it is, but you know, we tried. We tried and we failed, but that's fine, because that's just how life is. Alright, chat, here we go. The Injustice comic book 1 through 5, a video essay or video presentation by Ben Potter, aka the Comicstorian. God bless this man, and hopefully you guys enjoy this. And I haven't read this in a while, so maybe my perspective now, as I'm a bit older or I'm a bit more exposed to some comic book stories, we shall see how this goes. Alright, so are you ready to go? Are you ready for this?
This is Injustice year 1 through 5. If you've been on our channel for a while, then you know that we've been covering this epic for like 3 years. It has gone on forever, and some people have forgotten how it started. So we thought it would be fun to put together years 1 through 5 of Injustice into a 2.5-hour video and allow you guys to indulge in a really long movie. 2 things do you need to know as we go into this. 1, our editing styles progress because this happened over 2 years. So you're going to see how Dan was horrible in the beginning, and then he got really good towards the ending of the whole thing. And the second thing is there's going to be a part where I say that Batwoman died when the plane went down. That was wrong. We knew about it like the day I did it because you guys all told me it was wrong. But when I say it in the video, we can't correct it because we don't even have that like equipment anymore. So when I say it, it's wrong. I'm telling you now. Okay. Hope to
Alright.
see you guys on the other side of this 2.5-hour video.
Alright, here we go. Bless his soul, man. That's good old Benny Potter, the Comicstorian. Injustice Year 1, Volume 1.
Before we begin, this is Injustice,
I have a good one,
a
Beans.
separate universe from the main timeline. And while it is still happening right now at your local comic book shop, it does not affect the main timeline. Also, warning, this is a long series. Why do you guys make me suffer with these?
Damn.
Our story begins on a rooftop, no different than any other. But on this rooftop, Batman and Superman, two of the greatest friends in superhero history, are sitting. Superman looks at Batman and tells him, "We want you to be the Godfather." Bruce looks surprised, and Clark smiles. Hey look, the world's greatest detective is surprised. And Bruce smiles. You see, in this universe, Superman is married to Lois Lane. Gotham is relatively calm, and the superheroes are revered among the people. They are the heroes of this world, and no one questions that. This is a perfect world that the Joker is about to ruin as he shoots and kills Jimmy Olsen and kidnaps Lois Lane. Things ramp up quickly because Superman can't find her, and panicked, he grabs Batman by the shoulders. "Please, help me find her." So Batman calls up the entire Justice League. This is an all-points bulletin. We need everyone to look for Lois Lane.
We need everybody.
The Flash arrives instantly in Metropolis, and Batman has him run throughout the entire city looking. While he doesn't find Lois, he finds something that Batman needs to see. He carries Batman to Star Labs, where they find the Scarecrow dead from Joker's toxin. Wonder Woman then calls up Batman to let him know that they gotta leave. The Joker is apparently in a submarine beneath Metropolis, and that's why no one can find him. So Superman flies over the bay and he finds the submarine, and he tears it open with his bare hands. Inside, he finds Lois being operated on by the Joker and Harley Quinn. But before Superman can stop them, the Joker hits him with fear toxin. And when he looks up, he sees Doomsday. He has no idea what's going on, but he doesn't have any time to fight with Doomsday, so he grabs him and he rockets top speed straight up into the atmosphere, while the Joker is watching. Both the Joker and Harley Quinn jump out of the submarine and they begin to leave.
Not weird. Like, for once, Joker's like, I'm bored against the Batman. Let me go after Superman. I'm like, bruv, how do you think this is gonna go?
With Harley saying goodbye to the first submarine that she's ever owned and named. Goodbye, Gunter!
The name of the submarine is Gunther. Where have I heard that name before?
Gunter is a terrible name for a submarine, Hal tells them as he arrives. What did you do, Joker? Batman demands to know. Simple, I put a warhead in Metropolis, and I wired the detonator to Miss Lane's heartbeat. Once it stops, the bomb will go boom! Why would her heart stop? Batman then thinks about it, and he puts it together. The fear toxin was mixed in with kryptonite so that it could get into Superman's bloodstream. Superman, stop what you're doing! Whatever you are seeing is not real! Joker leans in. Did you know that she was pregnant, Bats? It's Lois, Superman! The gas finally begins to wear off, and Superman realizes exactly what he's done, and he looks in horror, with tears welling up in his eyes, at Lois drifting off into space.
Damn.
But with her death also comes the detonation of a nuclear warhead in Metropolis. The Justice League goes into crisis mode, saving as many people as they can from the fallout, while Batman brings the Joker to the police station. Superman is locked in grief, though, as he holds Lois. He can't believe what he's been forced to do. He hands the body of Lois to Wonder Woman. Can you hold them for me? Keep them safe. I'll be back. He then takes off at top speed, with Wonder Woman questioning, where's he going? In flight, the Green Lantern gets in his path. Superman, where is he? The Joker, where did Batman take him? Batman took him to Gotham Prison, as Superman continues on. At Gotham Prison, Batman is trying to interrogate the Joker, when suddenly the wall is torn out, and Superman walks in, throwing the table to the side, and then he puts his hand through Joker's chest.
Jesus. What a visual, man. Superman did the one thing Batman can't ever do, right? Kill the Joker once and for all.
Superman retreated to the Fortress of Solitude following the events where he tried to grieve to the best of his ability. But he can't do it. All around him the news is telling him about the disasters happening in the world. No more, he says to himself, and he takes off. There's a
5
war
o'clock
happening in the
shadow.
Middle East that he doesn't think needs to happen any longer. And after getting in the way of the
Rare
incoming
injustice,
rockets,
Superman double
he
move.
tells the people he's gonna stop this. He walks
Bro,
right into the
shades.
presidential palace and he grabs the president by his shirt. And then he carries him down to the people that he has been killing and he strips him down to his underwear. Wonder Woman lands and sees what he's doing. There are cameras here, Superman. I know, and I have something to say. Don't do it here, looking like this, she tells him, implying his tired and rough look. Let me call a press conference for you. And it happens at the United Nations. With Wonder Woman behind him, Superman tells the world, my name is Clark Kent, and I was a reporter for the Daily Planet. And I am tired of all of these hostilities and all of this fighting. I don't care about your land or your beliefs, and I don't care if you're a madman or a terrorist, a king or a president.
Damn.
You have no right to take innocent lives. I am calling a worldwide ceasefire, and if you don't, I will stop you. It's over. Things ramp up quickly once again with people challenging Superman and him blowing up their missiles and preventing anything. So the US government decides to make its largest mistake that they have ever made. And they kidnap Clark Kent's parents,
this was
and
an
they have
L
Mirror
move,
Master
man.
throw them into the mirror world. Superman arrives to a burning house that was once his childhood home, and he gets a warning from Mirror Master. Stop what you're doing, or we will kill your parents. I have them in a place that not even you can get to. Now go back to fighting giant space robots or something. Most of the Justice
all
League
this
goes
did
to the
is
Watchtower to discuss
convince
these
the
events, and
Justice
Wonder
League.
Woman tells them, we've all been affected by last week's tragedy, but Superman is trying to make the entire world a better place. But someone in this world is trying to tell us what our place is by kidnapping Superman's parents. I am Princess Diana, and I know my place.
Yeah, all
Will
this
you
did
stand
is
with
convince
us?
the Justice
The
League to
Justice
join
League thinks
Superman.
about it, and Cyborg steps forward. Superman has saved this world 10 times over. I'll stand with you. So they all move fast, teleporting
Cyborg.
around
I
the
do
Earth,
like it when
searching for
Cyborg's
Superman's
design
parents, and it doesn't
has
take
more
long
flesh
to
in
find
his
Mirror
body
Master
than just his
himself
head.
and get him to talk. While they're all assisting Superman, Batman figures out who is behind this entire plot, and he breaks into the White House to have a chat with the president. Your plan failed, Mr. President, and it failed in a way that will strengthen them. It will unite them all behind him.
Yep.
And the president looks at Batman. You said them, not us. Things once again ramp
Yeah,
up as the
Batman
Justice
don't
League
agree to
travels
this.
around the world trying to stop all war, everywhere that they can. And eventually, Superman realizes
man,
that
this
Batman
is
isn't
relevant
helping
today.
him, so he decides to pay a visit
like
to the
it's relevant
Batcave.
today.
Once he arrives, Damian takes time to thank Superman for getting rid of the Joker, and Nightwing asks if he's okay. But Superman smiles, and he walks to the Bat computer. My parents were taken, Bruce. Where were you? I was doing what needed to be done. My parents, you of all people. You have to stop what you're doing. I have to stop? Stop saving lives? Stop bringing dictators to justice? You're scaring them. And Superman rips Batman's mask off of his face. Good! They should be scared. Too scared to press the button. Too scared to pull the trigger. You taught me that. You would do the exact same thing if you were me. You killed a man, Clark. Every time that you let that madman live,
is.
how many more people did you condemn? Did you even feel guilty?
Uh-oh.
Every time. But we don't get to choose who dies. One death to save millions. Meanwhile, the Justice League is getting started in a war
One death
against
to millions
Atlantis.
as well,
It started as a disagreement between Wonder Woman and Aquaman, but it doesn't matter now as people are fighting. Back in the Batcave, though, their argument is heating up. Why did you let him do this to me, Bruce? You can't possibly understand what he took. He stole the life that Lois and I would have had together. I would have loved that child more than anything. I already did. And
Then
look
make
at
another
you,
child, dude.
sitting in the
Just
dark,
go
ignoring
Omni-Man.
Damian and Dick. How many friends did they have in Metropolis? Have you even consoled them? Held them? What's your excuse for not being a father? But Batman has had enough, and he throws a punch at Superman, completely unfazing him. At that moment, the alarms in the
And he broke
Batcave
his
begin to
hand.
go off as the battle with Atlantis starts raging on, and Superman turns to
And he
Batman.
broke his hand.
Bruce, come with me. And they look at each other, and Bruce lowers his head. I can't, Clark. I'm sorry.
My hand hurts.
Meanwhile, off in the middle of the
Clark.
ocean, Aquaman has called
Nothing
upon his
happened.
ultimate weapon, the Kraken, to battle against the Justice League. But Superman arrives, injuring the Kraken and grabbing Aquaman by the throat. Stop this now. I called for a ceasefire. Even your voice doesn't reach down into the deep, Superman. The sea is mine alone to command. Around the world, the Atlanteans begin to rise from the oceans to invade various parts of it.
Also,
Consider this a show of
this
strength.
is what I do start realizing as well. Some of these characters are like very out of character, right? Like Aquaman all of a sudden is like, I'm gonna invade these popular cities to assert my dominance. I'm like, bro, what? What do you think is gonna happen after this?
Superman, now get the hell out of my ocean. But Superman isn't listening to this ultimatum, and he takes all of the strongest in the Justice League, and they fly underneath Atlantis so that they can tear it out of the ground. They lift the entire city out of the ocean, and they carry it to the Sahara Desert.
The Justice League, everybody. Aquaman doing a Namor, which is very out of character of him, right? And Superman's like, oh yeah, you gonna challenge me, huh? Yeah, well, me and my homies gonna bring you to the desert. Plot! That's why. Yeah, this was redonkulous. With Superman and Batman arguing, though, about their beliefs and their flaws, that one I did enjoy, right? And Batman rejecting Superman's offer to come join him, right? Like, Batman's like, nah, man. I'm out, dog. Just T-pose on top of the Empire State Building, right? Just do a T-pose. Just do a King of the World. Jack style from Titanic.
Aquaman decides that he can't fight against Superman, and he submits.
Cute, happy stickers.
Yeah, awesome, thanks. I can't even skip this, can I? I have 40 seconds of unskippable ads. There we go, Jesus. I got more ads. Chat, who has a cream for ads? Huh? Let me pause it. Go back.
And as he retreats back into the ocean, he relays a message through Wonder Woman. I've ruled peacefully for years. When Superman is ready for my advice, tell him I am here for him. And Diana, I'm sorry about Lois. But Wonder Woman doesn't relay that message. Superman's reign continues to grow, and after putting down a superpowered individual that thought he could stand up to Superman, upsetting the Flash and making the Flash rethink this entire course of actions, and then preventing Two-Face from killing a news reporter, Superman has made his next decision. Live on the air, he informs the world that the twisted individuals of Gotham City deserve nothing. The people of Gotham deserve to know that those deranged individuals can never threaten them again. My God, they're gonna go after Arkham, Nightwing exclaims as he runs to the Batmobile with Batman. But Damian stands there. So what? Have you even considered for a second that maybe you are wrong? And on that note, Nightwing and Batman leave Damian there because there isn't any time to waste. As Superman and the Justice League arrive at Arkham, there stands Batman and Nightwing ready to stop them. But the shocker is that Damian is now standing with Superman in his side.
Chief.
What are you doing, Robin? Nightwing asks him. What am I doing? I'm bringing criminals to justice. I'm standing with Superman and Cyborg and Wonder Woman, and you're standing with Killer Croc. The Justice League begins to open the doors to the cells, and the Flash shows up, picking up the criminals and carrying them away instantly. So Batman activates a virus in Cyborg, forcing him to the ground in pain. The Justice League looks at Batman. What did you do? What the hell is wrong with you? Okay, that's enough, Nightwing says as he turns off Batman's gadget. Everyone just calm down. We don't want to look bad in front of the psychopaths. But that's when things get worse, because right at that moment, Green Arrow was dropping off Harley Quinn, and then he left her with one of the random guards there. Well, that didn't go well, as she's now opening up every cell door. All hell begins to break loose as villains go free, and Grundy breaks up from the floor below, grabbing Robin by the head and then carrying him off into the basement. Superman dives into the basement and begins to dismantle the undead monster that is Grundy, while Nightwing works his hardest to get Robin out of the monster's grip. Batman then leaps down with them and onto Grundy, at that point blowing up Grundy's head. Superman looks at Batman. Good job. They all get back up to the top floor in the main fight, and Robin loses control. I'm sick of all of you! Why do you think you deserve help after all you've done, he yells, as he clubs Riddler across the jaw. Robin, that's enough, Nightwing yells. Stop telling me what to do, Damian says as he throws his baton at Nightwing. It was just a child's rage and nothing more. He's done it so many times to Nightwing before and he's caught it. But this one time, Nightwing wasn't ready for it and it hit him in the head, throwing him off his balance. Nightwing fell over and he landed on a rock, cracking his neck. Just like that, it was over.
I shouldn't laugh.
Damian looked at the man that he treated as his brother, and he realized what had happened. Batman came out of the hole in the ground and he was with Superman. And he looks over to see Nightwing on the ground. I'm sorry,
Nah, man,
Damian
he dead.
tries to say through tears.
Nah, you killed him, man.
But Bruce couldn't hear it. What did you do? He screams as he
dead.
puts his hands on his head in shock and disbelief. I didn't mean to, Damian tried to say, but Bruce pushed him away. Get off of him!
People said
Everyone in
Damian Wayne.
Arkham stopped their fighting as Bruce picked up Nightwing.
They didn't say
They carried him out of the
Damian Wayne
building.
is a good.
This is only the
character
beginning,
in the
though,
other versions,
because
but
so
in the
many more
Injustice
heroes and
version,
villains will
he's a
perish
dick.
in this conflict. Batman grieved, and then he enacted his own plan to build a group of superheroes that are willing to stand against Superman.
Huntress, Canary, Arrow, Black Lightning, Batwoman. I don't know what Atom you are, and Aquaman. At the time, Aquaman was there, right? And then after that, it's like, yeah, no. So I can always see some of the inconsistencies here, but what are you gonna do?
He would build his own fighting force, his own team, to stop his
This is
former
at the time
friend.
where we were waiting for Canary to be in Injustice 1. Injustice
This
Teen
story takes
Titans.
place during the events of issue 1, year 1. Superboy was flying through Metropolis with
Oh,
Gar, Beast Boy,
no,
in his arms,
not
as they were
Beast
off to get the
Boy.
Titans some meatball subs from the best place ever. Kid Flash is running ahead of them, trying to beat them to the spot, but both Superboy and Gar decided that they would beat him. Superboy drops Gar, and Gar changes into a bird while Superboy hits top speed. But that's when they see it. The
Oh,
nuclear
God.
explosion set off by the Joker. Kid Flash is running so fast that he was taken out right away without even any time to react. And seeing that explosion coming, Superboy tried to grab Gar. He tried to save his friend. He really did. He tried to shield him from the blast. But in the aftermath, we saw Superboy on his knees holding Gar in his arms. The rest of the Titans saw the
Damn, not
news, and
Beast
Starfire
Boy.
crashed through the windows, getting to Metropolis at top speed,
Starfire.
where she and the rest of the Titans saw the aftermath. Superboy holding their dear friend. And he explained that Bart was taken by the blast. They all went back to the Titans Tower, where they sat around listening to the news until Dick Grayson returned. He had recently left the Titans, and he left Red Robin in charge, so he returned to tell his old friends what had happened. He explained that the Joker set off the bomb, and
I'll
then
be
Superman
back.
killed the Joker. This news sent tears down Superboy's face, as the hero that he was aspiring to be had just crossed the line. Superboy left. Starfire then asked Dick
Wonder
Grayson to
Girl.
return as the leader of the Titans, but he explained that he was needed at Batman's side for this, and he'll keep her posted. Then he simply asked her to keep the Titans out of anything that Superman was going to do. Superboy went to the Fortress of Solitude, where Superman was grieving, and he asked him why he did it. He understands grief. He lost his own family in Bart and Gar, but why did Superman have to kill over it? He asks, how could he wear the S on his chest if Superman was willing to kill, and he leaves Superman there? Then at the funeral, Superman announced that there would be a worldwide ceasefire, and things started down the path that would show up for the rest of the Injustice series while Superboy watched on. Then at dinner that night, Ma and Pa Kent told Superboy that he would need to learn how to forgive Clark. Clark isn't perfect, and Superboy told them that he couldn't as he flew off into the night. The Titans saw his grief, and they knew that he would do something that he would regret, so they sent Wonder Girl after him. She found him in the Fortress of Solitude, digging around Superman's things, and even though she told them that they should go, it was too late. Superman had arrived. Superman returned holding the Phantom Zone projector, which makes a portal to the Phantom Zone, asking Superboy if this is what he was looking for. He knew that Connor was going to try and send him into the Phantom Zone to try and stop all of this. So Superboy launched straight away, shoving Superman into a wall as he tried to wind up to punch him, but Superman easily slapped him away. Then with a single breath, he threw Wonder Girl aside, only to have Starfire burn him on his back. Everyone jumped into battle against the Man of Steel, but regardless of their efforts, Superman outmatched them at every turn. Tim ran over to try and move the Phantom Zone portal generator, but once he realized that he couldn't move it, Superman asked him, "What's the plan here?" Batman always has a plan. But while he was talking to Tim, Superboy jumped up from behind,
Tim's
so
great.
Superman turned around, cracking Superboy's sternum. Superboy hit the ground, spitting up blood, and Superman informed the Titans that Superboy was going to die. His sternum was cracked, and a rib had punctured his heart. The only way that they could save him was if they brought him to the Phantom Zone, because if he went there, he would no longer be tied to his physical body. But Superman would only allow them to do that if all of the Titans went. He didn't want to hurt them, and he didn't want them messing up his plans. Once he's done with everything, he'll free them. Without any other option in front of them, the Titans had to take the offer, and they entered the Phantom Zone, where they were locked away until Superman wins.
Jeez. And that's where they were.
I'm alive.
That's where the
Those
Titans
two
were.
words came across the radio, heard by the world. The Justice League got the message, and they take off to the remnants of Metropolis, destroyed by a twisted and deranged madman. After digging around the rubble, Superman...
Okay, let's stop there for a bit. That's kind of BS, right? This is why some people do not like this comic series, because it's like out of character, fan fiction, hard dick rage, the universe, right? Like this is like some of the scum things that Homelander would do as well, where Raven wasn't there because she was with Cyborg. They were in the Justice League. They were with the Justice League and they got promoted. But yeah, Red Robin, Tim Drake, Wonder Girl, Starfire, and Superboy, who was about to die off of One Punch. They got sent to the Phantom Zone, and then they got stuck there for however long it took. Still better than Clementine books, you're not wrong.
The Justice League find a hidden bunker in which Lex Luthor has survived the blast. One of Superman's friends in this world. They take off for the Watchtower and they explain to Lex what has happened and why he needed to hide in that bunker. The Joker has set off a nuclear weapon in Metropolis and murdered Lois Lane, Superman's only connection to his humanity. He has gone on a rampage with the Justice League since then, wanting to ensure that no one would ever be harmed in the world again. But has he gone too far? Batman thinks so, as he is now taking a stand against Superman following the death of Nightwing at the hands of Damian Wayne and a mistake that will haunt the Bat family forever. Superman's mission presses forward with battles all over, but certain ones cause the Justice League members to question if what they are doing is the right thing. Like when Black Adam was just defending his country.
Nice art, by the way. Chat, look, it's Crazy Gideon. Crazy Gideon. Our prices are so low.
Superman, Wonder Woman, and Shazam subdued him and forced him to say the magical words granting him his powers. This forced him to turn back into a mortal man, something that he hasn't been in centuries, and he ages rapidly. And the change had a chance to kill him. So Shazam didn't think that it would be best for them to do it for fear that the rapid aging would kill the elderly man. Superman and Wonder Woman didn't care, and they forced him to change back and age. They then kept him from saying the magical words of power once again. He didn't die, but Shazam does wonder, is it right to possibly kill someone for your goal? But Shazam's just a child, isn't he? What does he know about what's right? Another time, Wonder Woman takes to a war-torn country where the women are tortured by an evil ruler. She arrives, lassos up the ruler, and kills him right there in front of everyone. She then turns to the soldiers and takes their rifles and hands them to the women to protect themselves. But is it right to put the rifles in the hands of those that were tortured for so long? Wonder Woman thinks she knows the answer. Batman comes up with a plan to check on Superman's actions, and he has his team kidnap Hawkgirl so that he can replace her with a sleeper agent. The situation is about to get much worse though, as across the galaxy other individuals can see the changing of the tides with Superman and the Justice League. Calabec, one of Darkseid's followers, reports that Superman appears to have gone soft because he's calling an end to all of the fighting. So Darkseid sends his troops with Calabec at the helm.
Uy, lucky me pansit canton.
I'm good.
Kapain na yan. Sarapines.
No, I'm good. I just had noodles like 3 days ago. I don't have the craving for noodles right now.
Kryptonian has softened, then that is his mistake. Superman decides to hold a press conference based upon what Lex is telling him, that he needs to tell the world what he is doing, because they only see Superman flying in and stopping warlords and thugs, and they are afraid. They don't know what his plans are. So Superman puts on a suit, and he stands in front of the world to let them know. He just wants the world to be safe. When suddenly, boom! A boom tube opens up onto the world, and out steps Calabec and his army, the Parademons. They blast Superman, and he lands right in front of Calabec. What's wrong, Superman? Defeated so easily? Calabec chuckles to himself. And then he realizes his mistake as Superman gets up. His eyes say it all. There is no truth. There is no justice. There is no mercy.
American way.
And he hits Calabec so hard that he launches him into the atmosphere.
Pump like an orange
The
juice.
Justice League begins to get reports from all over the planet as the Parademons are boom-tubing into the heavily populated cities of the world, and they move quickly to try and save as many as they can. Even Batman and his people come together to battle against the demons assaulting Gotham. Their little battle against each other needs to be placed on hold for the sake of the world. Calabec gets picked up by Superman and thrown into the ground, where he lands on him, and he threatens for him to call off the attack. But Calabec sees his chance. You really haven't changed, have you, Superman? And he calls in more parademons. Superman finds himself being buried underneath the weight of the parademons, and he pushes out everything that he has to roast them all with his heat vision. He then walks towards Kalibek. Stand up and face me. Kalibek sees the hate in Superman's eyes, and he tells him, I yield. You win, Kryptonian. But Superman won't have that, and he shouts,
Nah, man, this is
you
Mortal
don't get to
Kombat
yield.
now.
Fight me! As he slams Kalibek into the ground.
Nah, this is MK now,
Daddy
sucker.
isn't going to save you this time, Kalibek. Superman tells him as he cracks him across the face again, and then he buries him head first into the ground. Elsewhere, the Flash is running as fast as he can to save as many people, but Superman arrives in front of him at light speed. I need to ask you something, Barry. Can't this wait, Superman? I'm trying to save everyone I can. No,
Yeah,
this can't wait,
it's
Flash.
Ben.
They're the only one that I can talk to about this fast enough for it to matter. Do you see any other way for me to save as many lives as I can without killing all of the parademons in the sky? If you're asking for my permission to kill, I won't give it to you. But do you see any other way to save everyone? No. So Superman takes to space, and he realizes that what he's about to do, the line that he's about to cross, it doesn't matter anymore. It doesn't matter that these are parademons. He's about to take thousands of lives. And with that, he goes back to Earth at
20
rocketing
seconds.
speeds and kills every parademon in the sky. As he lands on the stage where he planned to give his speech, with particles of
now he's a
destroyed beings in
hero.
the sky, the world cheers for their savior, Superman. And Batman realizes that what Superman had to do, he realizes that there is no coming back from this. Superman has Lex Luthor begin development of a pill that will grant all of his allies his strength.
Here we go.
While Batman tries to get his allies to agree with him and be on his side by revealing his identity after Huntress reveals it by mistake. Both sides meet on the battlefield, yet neither wants to fight because they were friends. They both want the same thing, don't they? Superman calls on Flash to have a friendly game of chess with him while he asks him a few questions. He needs his opinions, and the Flash can think very fast. So Superman begins to play the game, and he starts with his opening statement. I want to get rid of all of the guns. Checkmate. If you start with guns, then what? Smoking? Outlaw cigarettes? They kill far more than guns do, Superman. Checkmate. Then we can imprison everyone who speeds in a car. Checkmate. Then we can lock up everyone who leaves a dangerous dog unchained.
Damn.
Checkmate.
Well, I'm gonna go to jail.
Then we can kill everyone who doesn't recycle. Checkmate.
Well, Max is going to
But
jail.
while Superman is thinking of the things that the Flash is saying, Ma and Pa Kent are currently being housed in the Fortress of Solitude
Yeah, 'cause
after
they
they were
kidnapped
kidnapped a
them.
little while ago. And there with them is Lex Luthor trying to make the special pill. So they ask him to help their son.
Here we go. The
Because
plot
Superman
armor
is as
pill.
fallible as everyone else. Later that night, Damian decides to activate the Watchtower's teleportation system to bring himself back to the Batcave, where Alfred finds him. He hasn't returned ever since he accidentally
Alfred.
killed Nightwing, and he doesn't know what to do. Batman pulls into the cave and he simply asks his son, "What are you doing here?" Damian takes the hint and he begins to head for the exit, but Alfred turns to Batman. "Your guilt-ridden son has just walked into your home seeking redemption and forgiveness. Please, don't be you, sir." So Batman stops him. "Wait, I want to talk." But Damian snaps at him. "You left me in Arkham! You are wrong and Superman is right. You're just too full of yourself to see it. This isn't about me." "Of course it's about you! It's always about you! Your crusade, your pain, your parents who died, your way, your rules, your legacy, your impossible standards." And Alfred places a hand on the boy's shoulder. "Please, let your father talk." But Damian has taken one of the strength-granting pills, and he throws Alfred into the nearby Batcomputer by
Jesus, so
mistake.
he's about to kill
"No!"
Alfred there as
Damian
well.
says, shocked at what he's done. And Batman sees his oldest friend injured, and he shouts at Damian, "You!" But Damian has had enough, and he throws Batman
an
into the trophy
accident.
coin into the cave, causing it to begin to fall. And it would have landed on Alfred, but Hawkgirl arrives suddenly and catches it. Damian runs over to Alfred apologizing. He didn't know how strong he was. But Hawkgirl comes over and takes
Again.
Damian, and the two of them begin to leave for the Watchtower, until Batman tells them to stop. That's when Damian puts it together. Since when did Hawkgirl listen to Batman and know where the Batcave was, or is even that strong? So Damian lights an incendiary grenade, forcing Martian Manhunter to turn back to normal. He was the sleeper agent that Batman planted, and then Damian runs through the portal leading back to the Watchtower. Damian informs Superman and the Justice League that Martian Manhunter has been disguised as Hawkgirl this whole time, and Batman still has the real Hawkgirl captive. So Superman has decided that Batman has gone too far this time, and he decides to take the one thing away from Batman that Batman still thinks he has: his secret identity. He takes to the airwaves to announce to the world that Batman has Hawkgirl captive, and he will take his anonymity. Batman's true name is, but Batman activates Protocol Icarus and shuts down the Watchtower. With life support off, everyone in the Watchtower begins to panic, and they decide that they need to get the Watchtower back to Earth. But Superman tells them, no, we need to figure out a way to get this message out because we can't give Batman time to find another answer. So they use Cyborg's human computer to tap into social media, and they start hashtag Batman is Bruce.
Imagine that, chat. Imagine your friend just exposed your biggest secret identity. This is like someone is exposing your real name from your Twitch name and just says this. Just imagine that, right? Max Cannon's stunner is, Maximiliano Moreno. And then boom, Max's life is over. He just doxed him on Twitter. That is some next level hatred. People be like, oh, you crossed the line killing people. Nah, man, this is where you cross the line. Just doxing each other and all that. Jesus. Wait, Bruce Wayne dresses up like a bat. Holy crap, Batman is Bruce Wayne. I know Batman is Bruce Wayne. Damn, I know already Batman is Bruce Wayne. Weren't Batman and Catwoman a thing? That means... yeah.
Bruce Wayne. The world is now aware of who Batman is, so the Justice League moves quickly to the site where Batman is. And as they land, Superman demands that they give Hawkgirl back. But Batman tells them that he already released her, after Lex and the Watchtower group verify that it's her. Wonder Woman then warns Batman to stop this, or they will respond in force. So, Batman flies away. Well, that was unexpected, Flash says in shock.
The Manhunter.
It's Martian Manhunter, Green Lantern yells, and the Flyers all begin to chase him. Martian Manhunter might be fast, but he can't outrun Superman, Wonder Woman, and Green Lantern, so he goes invisible, one of his many powers. But Green Lantern pauses and tells his ring to scan for Martian Manhunter, only to be sucker punched by him. He then stands before Superman. Why are you working against me, John? Because of what you've become. I've watched my planet become overrun by a tyrant, and you are doing the same thing. But Wonder Woman has had enough of everyone talking to Superman about this, and she grabs Martian Manhunter by the head. He changes form, wrapping around her, and he goes inside of her body. He then begins to cut off the oxygen to her brain, slowly killing her. There's only one way, Clark, she says to him, and he knows it to be true. So he blasts Wonder Woman with his heat vision at full power. Martian Manhunter might be as powerful as Superman, but his one weakness is fire, and he burns alive instantly.
You guys know that one clip from Robot Chicken? Where Batman starts exposing everyone's weaknesses? Fire is his one weakness. Fire is everyone's weakness. It's freaking fire. I don't know why that made me laugh. Fire is his weakness. Genius, Sherlock. Fire is everyone's weakness.
Dying. A few other incidents happen involving Lobo, Green Arrow, Harley Quinn, and Canary. But eventually, Batman calls his team to inform them that Superman has finally gone too far. He killed Martian Manhunter, and they only have one chance to stand against beings this powerful. They need the pill that Lex Luthor has made to make normal humans as strong as Superman. And to get that, they're going to need to break into the Fortress of Solitude. So while his team argues how far is too far, they do join him. And Batman, Catwoman, Captain Atom, Green Arrow, and Canary all go into the teleporter and arrive in front of the Fortress of Solitude.
That's a different Captain
But Batman also has the President of the United States launch an attack on Korea to distract Superman. And that's when they make their move. While Catwoman breaks through the locks, Superman lands with a thud in front of the White House. Why would you do this, Mr. President? You know I would just stop you. Unless you're distracting me.
We need the
and as
K-pop,
Batman
man.
enters the Fortress of Solitude, he realizes his mistake. Clark was keeping his parents in the fortress. No,
Superman thought
if
he
he
was
thinks
gonna
even
kidnap
for a
his parents
second that we
again.
came for his parents, I don't even want to know what he'll do. And Batman turns around to see Superman with his hand on Captain Atom's neck, holding him to the ground, and his eyes burning red. He's furious, and he isn't thinking straight. Even his parents ask him to let Atom go and end this. But Atom isn't concerned. He isn't a pushover. He has literally 10 nuclear explosions contained in a containment suit, and he punches Superman off of him. Ooh. The damage to the fortress as Superman went flying through it is massive, and everyone runs to get out of it as the entrance seals itself. But Green Arrow finds himself stuck inside with Superman's parents. While Batman and his group figure out a way that they can get Arrow out of the base, Captain Atom is burying Superman into the ground. Every punch from him is like a mini nuclear explosion, and Superman can't take it. But Wonder Woman takes a swing with her sword at Atom's neck, breaking the containment field in one swing. Atom pauses. Oh, you stupid! I can't hold it any longer. But I guess this is my opportunity. I have my orders, and I'm already dead. So I'm taking you with me. And he grabs Superman and takes off for space, with Wonder Woman following behind yelling out. As the explosion builds in power and energy pours out of Captain Atom, he allows himself to explode with the power of 10 nuclear blasts in space. The explosion is so great that it throws Wonder Woman back to the Earth and destroys every satellite around them. But he failed.
And commercial. Nice. A 30-cent commercial. I love it. Yeah, they just love commercial. That's stupid. Stupid. Yeah, Randy Orton. Still cannot skip this. I don't know how my dad does it. But yeah, man, Captain Atom was the real one, and we were getting to the end of year one. The breakup between Superman and Batman.
And survived, and now he's pissed. They tried to kill him. He comes back to the planet to find where Wonder Woman landed, only to find her in a coma. The Flash arrives to pick her up and bring her for medical attention, and Superman returns to the fortress, burning a hole in the ceiling so that he can get inside. Green Arrow sees what's about to happen to him as he's the only member of Batman's group in the fortress of Superman's parents. He knows what he has to do, and he glances at the super pills. Superman burns the stand that the pills are on and tells Green Arrow not to touch them. So, he fires an arrow at Superman. That won't help you, but it'll make me feel better. The arrow bounces off of Superman and ricochets into Pa Kent's shoulder. Superman backhands Arrow, and he throws him through the wall because he hits him so hard. Scrambling on the floor, he tries to remember the longest distance an arrow has ever been fired. And he fires one last one at Superman, over his shoulder and out the hole in the ceiling. Superman then pummels Arrow over and over, blood flying into the air as his parents look in horror at what their son has become, begging him to stop, please. Arrow just closes his eyes, apologizing to the pretty bird, Dinah the black canary, prettiest girl in the whole damn world.
And he's dead.
He then closes his eyes for the last time. As Batman, Catwoman, and Canary all make it to the site of Arrow's last shot arrow, Canary sees his tracker on it, and she walks away slowly. Ollie's not coming back. But on that arrow, he managed to attach one of the super pills. Batman takes the arrow, and he goes to the Batcave to start analyzing the super pill by himself. He only has minutes before Superman will get there, and the only thing distracting Superman right now are both of his parents telling him how far he's gone, and the hologram of Jor-El telling him that he will receive no more help from the fortress
when the ghost of your
as he
dad
is
shows
killed.
up that you're
As Superman takes off with the Batcave, Jor-El turns to Superman's human.
Imagine the ghost of your grandparents shows up, talks to you, telling you that you messed up. Man, that's how you know you messed up.
Parents, I'm sorry. I unleashed this on your world. Superman comes crashing through the Batcave ceiling. I removed all of the crazies from Gotham, but I left the original, and he grabs Batman with anger burning in his eyes. Behind them, the Bat computer is trying to decipher what the super pill is. Is that Ollie's blood that you're covered in? He was the most ethical and compassionate friend that we had. Superman pauses, and he turns. Go on, justify his death. I'll call Black Canary and tell her you did it for the greater good. So Superman throws Batman across the cave. Stop talking! Batman runs to a computer and he presses a button that displays pictures of Clark's wedding to Lois Lane. You swore to honor and protect her, Clark, but you failed to protect her. And honor her? How is this honoring her? I'm doing this for her! Superman shouts. You stopped doing this for her the moment that she died, when you lost your humanity. Batman then drops a sonic device to stun Superman, and he runs to the super pill with the computer at 96%. But Superman grabs him by the arm. No. He picks up Batman and he holds him over his head. Batman screams, "Clark, don't!" But it falls on deaf ears as Superman slams Batman's back over his knee, breaking it. As Bruce lays there in agony, Superman begins to walk away. "I will not kill you, Bruce, but I can't have you in the way." And Bruce turns to him. "Wasn't trying to fight you. Was trying to distract you." Superman turns to the computer and he realizes that it has finished, and it uploaded the specs of the super pill somewhere else. "What did you do, Bruce?" "Gave us a fighting chance."
I downloaded your porn.
Bruce says,
and now we can watch it.
Someone then places their hand on Superman's shoulder. Clark Kent. And there stands Alfred. Superman looks in shock as Alfred headbutts him so hard that he forces Superman to bleed. "I'm so disappointed in you. No more hurting my family." And Alfred pummels Superman over and over. He then walks over, picks up Batman, and he walks to the teleporter. In the aftermath, Superman called for a conference for the world to see, and he declared that Batman and his allies are now enemies of the Justice League. He intends to gather his forces and expose Batman and all of those that will aid him, because the last thing Lois got to say to him was, "Save the world," and he intends to.
Whatever it takes. Sheesh.
Oliver, Hal, and Dinah all walked down a street after the Blackest Night event. Hal just saved the world from hordes of Black Lantern zombies, and they all felt they deserved a beer or two. All three walked into a bar, and a group of bikers tried to hit on Dinah, and Ollie snickered. The biker turned to Ollie. "Did you say something behind that stupid little beard?" And Ollie, continuing to grin, says, "Nope, I didn't say anything. I just kind of snickered." But Dinah decided to step in. You get one chance to let go of him and walk away. "Oh, you need a girl to protect you?" "I don't need her to." And then Dinah grabbed the man by the shirt. But I really enjoy it when she does. And then Dinah threw him across the bar. She dropped two other thugs while Ollie looked down at the bar peanuts, and then he flicked one into the biker's eye, so she broke his nose. "I had it, Ollie. It was just a peanut. I literally lifted one finger." Hal decided to chime in at this moment. "I saved the whole world." And Holly turned to him. "You did, and you deserve some acknowledgement. To Hal Jordan, savior of the world." Those were good times, weren't they? That was back when everyone was friends. Before Joker tricked Superman into killing Lois Lane, and then Superman put his fist through the Joker's chest.
Weird.
Before Batman built a rebellion against Superman's regime. Before Superman murdered Oliver Queen, the Green Arrow.
And he died.
Both sides of the war stand at opposite sides of Ollie's grave. A temporary truce has been called so that they can lay the man down to rest. After Hal tried to apologize and Dinah told him to go away if he still stood with Superman, Superman himself tried to come over and apologize to Dinah. He tried to tell her that he didn't mean it. He didn't want to hurt Ollie. It was an accident. But she sonic screamed at him and saw the true anger and rage in his eyes. He turned to her initially ready to harm her, but he stopped when he realized that Dinah was pregnant. Batman has been moved to a place between time and space by Zatanna. He had his back broken in his last fight with Superman, and it's going to take him some time to recover.
A lot of hoes.
This was the only place that Zatanna could hide him, away from Superman, away from everything. Off in deep space, Kyle Rayner is one of the best Green Lanterns around, and he's been off of Earth for quite some time. He should be coming home to a world that he loves, but he's coming home to a different world. But just as he begins to get home with plans to call a girl that he met before leaving, his ring goes off on an alert, and he finds himself tied up by Sinestro and his yellow lanterns. There is a war coming. I look to Earth and I see future allies.
Oh no.
He creeps right up to Kyle, and he uses his yellow ring to sever Kyle's ring finger and remove his Green Lantern ring. Fear finally begins to cross Kyle's face as he loses his uniform and his shield for space travel.
And he died.
And then, he suffocates in deep space. Over at Oa, Ganthan has sensed that something is off. He hasn't heard from Kyle Rayner, and they're getting reports that Superman is apparently trying to rule the world.
So
Guy Gardner, another one of the Earthling Green Lanterns, laughs at the idea that Superman will be trying to conquer Earth. So he asks the Guardians to loan him some of the lanterns, and he'll go talk to Hal. He'll know what's going on. Back with Superman, he's sitting in the Watchtower by Wonder Woman's bedside, wondering if she'll ever come out of her coma.
Just like that.
When a report comes across. Sinestro is here. Superman launches out into space with Sinestro telling him to wait, but Superman doesn't give him time as he grabs Sinestro by the throat and he slams him into the moon. Sinestro still refuses to fight back as he tells Superman, "I'm not here to fight, I'm here to warn you. They are coming." Meanwhile, on Earth,
Sinestro
Green
is the
Lantern and the
ultimate
Flash
devil on
walk
your
out of
shoulders.
Congress after forcing them to pass a bill, and they find Ganthet and Guy Gardner waiting for them. "Take me to Superman, Hal Jordan," Ganthet demands. Ganthet advises Superman to stop this, stop trying to control the people of Earth, but Superman informs them that he's protecting the people of Earth. "I have watched civilizations rise and fall. We Guardians have been gifted with enormous power, and sometimes not using that power is the most difficult decision of them all." And that's when Sinestro speaks into Superman's ear. Ask him the question. You say you watched civilizations rise and fall, Ganthet. Were you watching Krypton in its final moments? And in your infinite wisdom, did you choose to not use your power that day?
Oh no, that
Ganthet
call-out.
lowers his head and says nothing. "You dare come to me today to lecture me on responsibility when you doomed my planet and people. No, they doomed themselves, and we will not allow you to rule over these people,
Nah, that's a weak
Kal-El of
rebuttal.
Krypton." Is that
Why
a
did-
threat?
why did you save them,
No,
huh?
a warning. Get
did
the
you save
hell off my
Krypton?
planet. So Ganthet leaves the Watchtower
Nah,
and he
that's a
tells
weak
Lantern
rebuttal.
Jordan that he needs to accompany them back to Oa. As they leave the
doomed themselves.
Watchtower,
Buddy, you have all that
Sinestro floats
power.
in. Meanwhile, in Gotham, Superman's soldiers begin to march on the city, and Gordon realizes that it's time for him to stop pretending that he doesn't know about Batman's operation.
Yo, the
He's been
commish.
informed by Superman that he has cancer, so he looks at one of the cameras and he tells Barbara, "Let me in. I know you're there and I know you're watching. I know everything." The Guardians begin to call in every Green Lantern from every sector. This is an all-points bulletin. They even pull Lantern John Stewart off of Riot that's being overrun by zombies. They need an
John
entire
Stewart.
army if they're going to stop Superman. While Superman's group debates if they should be siding with Sinestro, he's a villain, an evil ruler, and a tyrant. Sinestro explains that he's just concerned about the well-being of the galaxy. He went the route of fear because he got overzealous when a riot killed his wife. The reaction and punishment from the
Sinestro told
Corps
the
was
story
swift and vicious. I
he
will not
was,
lie to you,
he was
Superman.
a victim,
I want my revenge, but we have
he's
the
just
same
a bad
enemy.
guy.
But Lex and Flash managed to convince Superman that they shouldn't trust Sinestro. So Sinestro asks them, "You fear me?" And Lex tells him, "Of course." So Sinestro hands him his yellow ring. "I give you your fear. You'll need me when the time comes, and together we will end them." Back on Oa, Hal tries to convince the Guardians that Superman is doing the right thing, that he's protecting the planet. But they don't see it that way. They see a man that has toppled governments and created super beings to make an army. Hal argues, though, with Superman taking a more active role on Earth, countless lives have been saved, and not just through ending violence. They've been stopping hunger and creating a renewable energy source. The Guardians
that's
dismiss
cap, that's
Hal,
cap.
and he sees all of the lanterns being recalled. And then Kilowog comes down the steps.
Hey,
"I'm to bring
Kilowog.
a squad to Earth, and then we're gonna bring Superman here for trial." Hal is shocked. "If you think I'm gonna lie down and allow you to attack my planet, don't be stupid, Jordan." So Hal sends off a massive energy spike, pushing everyone away, and then he takes off for space trying to get to Earth. But the Guardians quickly put up a shield stopping Hal.
Welcome to Red Ribbon, home of the best birthdays.
I already bought a cake. Leave me alone.
And the rest of the Corps apprehends him. They take him to the Guardians, where his ring is removed and he's placed in a cell. As the rest of the Lanterns head to Earth, John sneaks into the cells and he frees Hal, and he gives him back his ring. "I'm with you in Superman, Hal. Capturing you was an
Yikes.
act. An act. You stood there while they beat me unconscious. I'm very convincing." On Earth, the Green Lantern Corps strike force arrives with Kilowog in the lead. "Superman, the Guardians want to talk to you on Oa." Superman dials up
There's a
Cyborg,
squirrel in that
and he orders it to start. And they blast the entire strike force with a space-to-ground laser.
Jesus.
A crater is made where the Lantern Corps stood, and then Kilowog looks up, and he blasts off towards them. Superman dodges Kilowog, and he tells him, "This is stupid. You can't touch me with a thought-based weapon. I move faster than thought." Well then, it's a good thing that we already thought of that. And instantly, Superman reels back in pain, and he falls to the ground. It was the squirrel. Everyone underestimates the squirrel. He is thinking so small that he's stopping the synapses in Superman's brain and he's keeping him from moving. The Lanterns have won. But up at the Watchtower, Lex sees that the end is coming, so he opens Sinestro's cell and he
Oh,
hands him
boy.
the ring. As the Lanterns prepare Superman for transport, Chip begins to feel blood running down his forehead, and he falls to the ground, freeing Superman. Sinestro has killed him. The fight begins again with the Lanterns battling against Superman, Hawkgirl, Shazam, and Sinestro. But just then, Hal and John arrive on Earth to see what a disaster this has become. John heads over to stop Sinestro, while Hal calls for Kilowog and Superman to stop fighting. Sinestro then hovers behind Superman with the entire Yellow Corps, an army at Superman's disposal. So Kilowog agrees to stand down and leave. They'll return to Oa. But Sinestro refuses. No, you can't let them leave. They'll report this and they'll return with more Green Lanterns.
This gaslighting
Hal looks to
motherfucker,
Superman
man.
to let the Lanterns go, but Superman looks away. Sinestro's right. The debate begins on whether or not they should exterminate the Green Lantern Strike Force, but Superman refuses. We're heroes. We don't kill. Detain them and take their rings. As he takes Kilowog's ring, Kilowog warns him. The Guardians are gonna come here and kick your butt, Poozer. Superman orders for Sinestro to stay. Without him, Superman would be halfway to Oa by now, but the Yellow Corps is told to head off-world and wait. Meanwhile, back in Gotham, Gordon has learned about everything from his daughter, and he wants to help. The entire GCPD wants to help. So they take the strength pills that Batman got back to the group, and they begin to build their own army of citizens in Gotham.
Yeah, while Batman
Gotham
is injured.
will not let Superman and his army take control. A war
How is it
on a
keeping up
second
with
front
this?
is brewing now. We open on the Guardians of the Universe stumped. The Earth is vanished, and they don't know how. When Guy Gardner steps up, I could fill you in. I was on my way back here when the Sinestro Corps jumped me. Sinestro has joined forces with Superman. What of the Lanterns we left on Earth? I don't know. When I left, they were alive, but we've worked out that Kyle was killed by the Yellow Lanterns, and I think Hal and John are now with Superman. We won't act rashly and charge in. We will plan our attack, and until then, the Earthlings are on their own. Things have been ramping up rather quickly, but if you're just now joining us, the Joker forced Superman to kill Lois Lane, and then he blew up all of Metropolis. Superman then built an army and has taken over all of the government functions on Earth. Batman stood against him, but Superman broke his back. Then the Green Lanterns arrived to bring Superman to justice, but the Strike Force was defeated by Sinestro and the Yellow Lanterns, and then they were detained on Earth. Back on Earth, the GCPD has gotten their hands on Superman's super soldier creating pills, and they've started working with Batman's agents to remove Superman's army from Gotham. They won't stand by and let Superman take over. Harvey Bullock and Commissioner Gordon have both taken the pills, and they drop the invading army easily, and then Gordon says to round up the men. He's going to interrogate them. Back at their base of operations, Barbara is getting upset when she's going through old family photos, when she comes across one of Nightwing, Dick Grayson. And he died not that long ago. But something catches both Barbara and Commissioner Gordon's eyes. Someone that looks like Barbara Gordon's mother has just appeared on their cameras. No one has seen her in 15 years, and while it's assumed that she was murdered, they never found a body. So Gordon pops another of the strength-granting pills, even with Barbara telling him not to because it's speeding up his cancer that he was recently diagnosed with. He decides to head off into town and sneak by Superman's army to the location where they saw her.
Or not,
But once he
Max?
gets there, he discovers that it was all a trap, and it's actually Clayface. Gordon walks over and grabs him, but he begs Gordon to stop. He escaped to the Purge of Arkham, and if they find him, they will kill him. He just wants protection. But Gordon doesn't want to hear it. Give me one reason to help you. I'll give you closure. I can tell you where they buried your wife. So he explains that he was there that night, running with the gang that shot her, but he wasn't a part of it. And they didn't do it for any real reason. She was just in the wrong place, at the wrong time. So he follows Clayface to the pier, where he finally gets to see her body, and he says to himself, I'll be seeing you again soon. And now he knows that she is waiting for him. So he takes Clayface back to the headquarters, where he tells the group that they're gonna put him in a cell until Barbara can verify that there isn't anything weird about his DNA. But that's when he somehow gets out of his cell and he walks past Barbara as Dick Grayson. Upon seeing that, she yells at him, How dare you! You know what I found in your DNA? Kryptonian blood. You lied to us. You've met Superman. And that's when she puts it all together. You were sent here to torment us. That's right, Clayface says, as he begins to shift back into himself. He told me to come down here and let them see they're dead, as I have had to every day. Was that even my mother's body? Barbara asks as she catches a punch that he tries to throw. Oh, it was, but I wasn't standing pretty by the sidelines. And then the two of them begin a full-on battle in which Clayface knocks her out of her wheelchair. He then smashes down on Batwoman and Huntress as they come to Barbara's rescue, but after Black Canary Sonic screams him, disrupting him, Barbara throws the wheel of her wheelchair into him, knocking him out. As the next few days pass, Harley closes Clayface up into various jars, and Barbara takes some time to watch the family photos again. Jim Gordon then enters and apologizes to her. He didn't mean to interrupt. But Barbara tells him that she's just dealing with the fact that he has cancer, and in a month or a week or maybe even a day, she'll be alone. And these pictures are all that she has left of him.
No,
he then takes the knee and he apologizes. He wishes that he could stay longer. And Barbara reassures him, I'll never be alone. I know you'll be waiting for me. You'll always be there. They then embrace to a photo of Jim and his wife. Some time passes and Dinah the Black Canary gives birth to her child, while Hal and Sinestro head off on a secret mission in Superman's name. Harley Quinn even becomes more of a good guy by dropping her trademark makeup at times and helping Black Canary. But the battle that we are all waiting for begins to ramp up as Guy Gardner finally returns to Earth with the Lantern Corps in tow. And I do mean the Lantern Corps, because they have the entire Corps, Mogo included, coming with them. They were gonna try and sneak in, but that's not gonna happen as they have an entire planet coming with them. Superman has a plan though, as he goes on national television to ask the entire world to come outdoors and fight against the Lantern Corps. He asks the entire world to become human shields. Black Canary leaves little Connor with Barbara, and then she warps to the Tower of Fate with Zatanna. It's time to see what Batman's condition is. He now has a robotic spine and some magic from Zatanna helping him walk again and speed up his recovery. He puts out an all-points bulletin asking everyone to get ready. This is their last chance to stop Superman.
While
Everyone needs to get ready and say their goodbyes. To family, to friends, to partners, to their children, their wives, and their husbands. And their mustaches. Catwoman then helps him to his feet, and they get ready to say goodbye to Bruce. He's gonna stay here and heal. But once everyone leaves the tower, he grits his teeth. He isn't staying here. He's gonna make sure that Superman is stopped. So he goes to Oracle's base of operations to join her. Then, night begins to fall on Earth early as a planet blocks the sun. The Green Lanterns have arrived. Hal, John, and Superman all meet up with Guy Gardner while he makes one final plea. Please, Superman, help us take down the Sinestro Corps, and then we'll take you for trial and we'll end this. But Superman doesn't budge. No one dies if you leave. Don't do this, Superman. Have some perspective. Look at your allies. That one is named Arkillo. He has Kill in his name. For now, they are useful. The enemy of my enemy is sometimes a much worse enemy. We can stop this, Clark. You and me right now with words. Just words. Guy, you were always an embarrassment to the Justice League. Now you're an embarrassment to your entire planet. So Guy throws a punch, and the fight begins with Superman catching it and breaking his arm. And then Superman grabs him. I don't want you in this fight. And he throws him off into space. The Corps yells attack, and they get out of the way as Mogo blasts the entire group with willpower.
Blast!
On the planet, everyone can see the skies turn green, and they stand in shock. The war has begun. Superman survived, and he carried Sinestro and Hal out of the blast range. And they lost a quarter of the Sinestro Corps. On Earth, the signal went out, and they begin their ground assault by blowing up a bomb that Harley Quinn is strapped to her chest on the steps of the Hall of Justice, using it as a distraction so that Catwoman can knock Flash unconscious and capture him. Luckily, Harley Quinn had a strength pill because she survived, and then she grabbed her old costume while Catwoman knocked Robin out and took him captive also. Gordon walked into the Hall of Justice and he took Lex Luthor hostage. But that's when we learn who the inside man that was trying to help Batman's group is. It's Lex Luthor. He takes Gordon aside and he informs him that Cyborg is going to track their signal back to Barbara soon. And then, they'll capture all of them. But he knows how far Gordon's cancer has gone. And he can get Gordon up to the Watchtower. So they walk over to the teleporter pad and Lex asks him to make it look like he forced Lex to do this, as he teleports Gordon to the Watchtower. Meanwhile, Guy Gardner puts his arm in a sling made out of willpower, and then he heads off to help the Resistance get moving. But Hal tries to prevent him from going by starting an argument between Guy and Hal. That's interrupted by Sinestro. Guy takes a blast of fear to the face, and then he gets back up to try and convince Hal that this is insane. You were the best of us, Hal. You're not supposed to be Superman's puppet. And Sinestro jumps in. Shut him up. End him. So the Yellow Corps bombards Guy Gardner. But once the smoke clears, he's still standing thanks to the willpower shield granted to him by Ganthet. I never stopped believing in you, Hal.
The
Guardians, they gave up. And Ganthet blasts Hal Jordan. Guy Gardner grabs Carol Ferris and begins to get her out of the area as the Yellow Corps and Ganthet go crazy on each other. But Hal stops him. Guy, give her to me. Carol tries to jump in. It's okay, Hal. Guy was saving me. But Hal doesn't listen and he yells, give her to me! And he clubs Guy Gardner with a willpower mace. That's all it took. Ganthet turned around and told Hal, you broke your oath. And he took the green ring. out in the middle of the sky, Hal loses his Green Lantern powers, and he and Carol both begin to fall to the earth. But, seeing a chance, Sinestro flies up, and he hands him a yellow ring. Hal takes the ring so that he can rescue Carol. And with that, Hal Jordan has entered the Sinestro Corps. Meanwhile, Batman can see that the battle is stretching out thinner and thinner from his seat in Oracle's headquarters. He can see that Superman and the Yellow Corps are just trying to stretch out the Green Lanterns and bring them to populated areas, knowing that they won't fight back. He wants her to warn everyone to come together, but that's when she pauses. She realizes that she's been traced. Up in the Watchtower, Cyborg hears the teleporter confirm Lex Luthor, and he gets up. Lex, I found them, we need to go. But there stands Gordon with a gun trained on Cyborg. No, you won't. Cyborg puts his hand up. We're in a space station. You won't fire a bullet at me. And Gordon responds by shooting a shot at Cyborg's head, bouncing it off of his cyborg side. The next shot goes through the soft side of your head. Now turn off the trace. Cyborg scans Gordon and he realizes Gordon's dying. Gordon begins to feel the strain from the cancer, and Cyborg takes this chance to blast Gordon in the chest. But he took another strength pill, allowing him to eat the blast and grab Cyborg. You won't touch her, he shouts as he clobbers Cyborg, and he tears off the Cyborg parts on his face.
Jeez.
Lex arrives on the scene and he helps Gordon up. You knew taking those pills would make your cancer worse, didn't you? Yes. Can you take Cyborg down for collection while I have a moment alone with my daughter? So Lex leaves. Gordon dials up his daughter. He wants her to know how beautiful the Earth is from up here. You can't see any hatred or violence, just the calm. Superman can't be allowed to hold this world, Barb. We'll take care of him, Batman says, jumping in. It's good to hear your voice, Batman. It's Bruce. No, it isn't. It was never Bruce. I'm sorry, Barbara. And Barbara jumps in. Dad, please don't. Batman, I guess I get to disappear on you for once. Back with Hal Jordan, Sinestro, and Ganthet. Ganthet took a look at Hal. He has fallen. And then looking at both Hal and Sinestro. You were both terrible mistakes. Ganthet turns to Guy. It's time to leave, Guy. There is someone more important than these two. And Sinestro screams at Ganthet, there is no one more important than I! So Ganthet turns to Sinestro and his core, and he disintegrates them in a single blast, leaving...
Yeah, that's how he died. The strength pills accelerated his cancer to the point where he just disappeared on them Batman style. Yeah, that's how Gordon died. The cancer got to him.
Only Sinestro the survivor. You are a speck in history, Sinestro. I have no more time for you. And he leaves her space. He gets into space and he goes straight for Superman, blasting him with the power of willpower. Superman falls down to the earth, and just as he enters normal space, the Batjet comes by, hitting him with missiles. Looking at it, he thinks that Bruce is piloting it, and he blasts it with his heat vision, destroying it. But Batman wasn't flying it. It was Batwoman, and he's now killed her.
No.
So Black Canary swoops in using a
Black
glider,
Canary.
and she grabs Superman, and she sonic screams it right in his ears, shoving
Yeah,
him
that was a
down to the
mistake.
earth with a boom.
Batwoman's still alive.
She then lands right in front of him, and he speeds over, grabbing her by the chest. So she shoots him with a gun, containing a kryptonite bullet. Then with a solid kick, she knocks him down, and she tells Superman, after everything you've done, Bruce still cares about you, and he asks for mercy. Back up in space, Ganthet uses a massive blast to kill every single Sinestro Corps member up there with him.
Man,
And then he
that's just
throws
one
Shazam down to the ground. Without Superman, the Sinestro Corps and his soldiers are failing.
Hey, the good
and
guys are
Batman's troops have
winning.
managed to capture Cyborg, Flash, and Robin. With a win on the horizon, Guy gets ready to come down and carry Superman away. But with so many Sinestro Corps members dead, there's a lot of rings floating around. And one manages to find a new host. Kal-El of Krypton, you have the ability to instill great fear.
Oh,
Using his
God.
new ring, he pulls the bullet out of his chest and he fires a blast of heat vision right through Black Canary's stomach. Then, as he leaves her for dead, bleeding out, she reveals the
that's
true
scary.
plan. She had contact lenses on that broadcasted everything that she saw to the world. Everyone saw the true Superman. Superman is furious, and he flies straight at Ganthet. Are you happy to see somebody die? Look at all of this! While this is going on, Sinestro puts a blade through John Stewart's chest, ending him. And then he brings the body of John to Hal. Hal, we need to get your friend to medical attention. But
So
just as his
Gordon
green ring
died,
leaves his hands,
John
Hal
Stewart
Jordan becomes
died,
furious and
Black
turns to
Canary
Sinestro.
died.
Who did this? Sinestro looks Hal dead in the eyes. It was Guy Gardner. Hal goes right for Guy. You did this! You brought them here! This is all your fault! And Guy takes a beating. Hal, I didn't want this. I won't fight you! So Hal rips off Guy's arm where
And
he
now
had his
Guy's
ring,
dead.
and then Guy turns back to normal and falls to Earth, murdered by his friend. So Superman and Ganthet begin to stare each other down, and Batman realizes they've lost this fight. Superman is wearing a ring fueled by fear, and their broadcast just overpowered that ring. The entire world now fears Superman.
the second game?
Ganthet holds his hands up to end Superman, and then Superman takes all of that willpower to the face. He's unstoppable. He then grabs Ganthet by the throat, and he rockets into space with him, aiming for Mogo. Mogo fires a full beam through Superman and Ganthet, but it does nothing as Superman slams Ganthet into Mogo's surface, and then he pushes Mogo back with Ganthet pinned down. He's pushing them so hard that he shoves both Ganthet and Mogo into the sun.
Jesus.
We don't need you, Guardian. And that ends it. The Green Lantern Corps has been annihilated. In the aftermath, everyone alive in Batman's forces went back into hiding. And Jim Gordon was never seen again, and Superman kept his yellow ring. Hal and Sinestro are now kind of friends, if you want to call them that. And Black Canary? She was left bleeding out in the crater that she made with
Yamcha
Superman.
style.
Dr. Fate appeared before her and he took his helmet off. Fate. She woke up in another place, another universe, another Earth, with her child Connor there. Dr. Fate brought her to a world with an Oliver Queen, one that lived a quiet and quaint life, one that lost his Dinah 5 years ago. Dr. Fate tells her that she was gonna die, so he brought her here to try again. He can't promise that they'll be happy together, but he can at least give them each other. He then denies her request to go back and stop Superman, and he leaves, saying goodbye to Connor. Ollie looks at the child. Connor? Yes. I always liked that name. I know. And Ollie looks at her, and then he smiles. Hello, pretty bird.
The end. There you go, chat. It's Constantine's turn.
Batman had an idea, so he sought out Dr. Occult. Dr. Occult is an individual deep in the mystical side of the DC universe and is
magic
actually
side of
two
stuff.
individuals sharing a body, Rose and Dr. Occult himself. Batman sought out Rose because she is Dr. Occult, and his plan is simple. Superman is vulnerable to magic, so why not use that against him? But in order for it to work, he'll need to remove two problems, Raven and Wonder Woman. Batman approached Rose and told her that he needs both Rose and Dr. Occult, and she turns around, instantly turning into Dr. Occult. Anything you say to me, you say to both of us, literally, Batman. We're at your service. I give you my word. So he sets off on his mission, going to Georgetown first, meeting with Baron Winters. While meeting with the Baron, another individual is standing in the back of the room, John Constantine. He overhears what Dr. Occult is planning, and once Baron Winters tries to convince the doctor not to go through with it, Constantine turns around. Let him do what he wants. He's a big boy and a big girl.
Yeah,
I'd have
John
half a mind to throw in with him and take
They
down
went
Old
magic,
Blue.
Max. They
If
went
only
from
he'd
Green
asked
Lantern
nicely.
to
But Dr.
magic.
Occult informs Constantine, I would never ask for your help. You'd most likely leave me in a trance with my pockets
Superman
picked.
is weak to
Constantine
magic.
defends himself, though. That was only once, mate. You'd think that I'd be fool enough to try that again? And so, Dr. Occult continued his journey. His trip brought him to Cairo to get the Blade of Durga, New Athens to get the living sphere from the Enchantress,
So, yeah,
to
right
the
now they're
Twilight
on a side
Realm to
quest.
trade the sphere to the court
Like,
of the
stop
fairy,
Raven
and
and
eventually
Wonder Woman.
to Metropolis, where he began to draw ruins on the wall. He walks into the sanctum of Raven herself, surrounded by hellfire, and sensing that something is off, she begins to throw the hellfire at Dr. Occult. He begins to pull out a gem that hits her hard, but the hellfires burn Dr. Occult alive, separating him from Rose, throwing her to the ground. But Constantine has been following behind this whole time, and as Raven prepares to finish off Rose, he grabs the gem and he hits her with it. With Raven unconscious, Rose looks over at the body of Dr. Occult and sees him dead, turned to bone. Constantine pulls out a cigarette. Rose, we both know you won't live long without him, so you can do one thing. You can finish the job. Go to Themyscira and finish off Wonder Woman. You need to fight like a proper mage and keep your word. Rose agrees and she begins to create a teleportation spell while Constantine gets back to his feet. I'll wrap up Raven and try to pull the doctor out from the other side. But if I save him, you owe me. If I survive, Constantine, Rose says, leaving. Then he flicks his cigarette to the ground. He then wraps up Raven in the center of a circle with another symbol on her, binding her in place. And in the home of Wonder Woman, Rose sneaks in, and as Wonder Woman wakes up, she throws dust into Wonder Woman's face,
Yeah, Wonder
putting her to
Woman's
sleep.
asleep the
Then, as
entire
Rose
time.
begins to die finally, she
second
knows
year.
that she needs to vanish. There needs to be no
So
trace in
Sinestro does
Themyscira that she
influence
was
Superman
there.
during the
Otherwise,
second
they'll
year.
figure out what she did to Wonder Woman and they'll break the spell. So she warps herself to a random island out in the middle of nowhere, and using her last spell, she calls up Batman. Batman, the job is done. Raven is neutralized. Wonder Woman sleeps helplessly. And we won't survive. Don't trust. And then she dies. Batman just calls.
Wow, okay, thanks. So yeah, they knew Superman's gonna be vulnerable to magic. So that's their plan C, right? Plan B didn't work with the Green Lantern, so now they're gonna go with Plan C. Constantine.
Doctor, who don't I trust? Who don't I trust? As she falls face first into the sand, Constantine appears behind her, rifles through her pockets, taking all of her trinkets, and then he stands up, lighting a cigarette. Your trinkets should be more than enough to hide me and keep me from getting involved in this fight. Don't get me wrong, I think you were doing the right thing. The Kryptonian made a mess of this world, but I'm a family man now. Rest in peace, Doctor. We're both out of this war now.
Injustice Year 3. Jesus.
And that brings us to today, the end of the Green Lantern battle, with John Constantine looking at a Green Lantern sitting on what was once a house. A house that contained someone really close to him, Rose Constantine. You see, John's daughter was hidden from everyone to avoid the problems that came with his line of work. That is until Superman and Batman's battle brought it to her. And so begins the next chapter of this war. Dr. Fate can feel the very fabric of reality tearing as there's a loud knocking at the door to the Tower of Fate, Batman's team's hideout. Zatanna and Dr. Fate get ready, with their powers charging to face whatever was able to find the Tower of Fate.
Yeah, this has been...
When Zatanna opened the door, she found John Constantine there with his daughter. Hello, Z. Being the masters of magic that the three of them are, John explains that he was feeling something magically watching him in Liverpool, and Dr. Fate confirms that there is something going on, and he can feel that it has aligned itself with Superman. But none of them know who or what this is. So John asks Z to send him to the world's greatest detective, Detective Chimp. This is John Constantine, though, and he has his own plans to put into action, so after recruiting Detective Chimp, he decides to make a stop in hell, to Trigon's domain, to ask him, do you still have that piece of my soul? Yes, little magician. I have tamed the piece that you sold in hell. Well, I'm here to let you know, your daughter Raven was removed from battle by something big and nasty working for Superman. What is it? I don't know yet, but when I find out, will you be ready to act? I do not trust you, little magician. Why share this with me? Well, since you own a piece of my soul and plan to torture me for all eternity, maybe I can get some time off for good behavior. Trigon puts him down and closes the door to hell. Find my daughter, and do not bother me until you do. Meanwhile, over at the Hall of Justice, Superman, Hal Jordan, and Sinestro are trying to figure out what happened to the Flash, Robin, Cyborg, and Raven. They've all been taken by Batman's team, and no one can seem to find them, which automatically leads Superman to believe that there is something new in play. Magic. Meanwhile, Batman is meeting with John, so that John can introduce him to Detective Chimp, and show both of them where he's keeping Raven, because if his plan goes south, he wants someone to know where she's bound, otherwise she'll be there for all of eternity. And he explains to Batman and Chimp that he is getting involved because he wants revenge.
Nice shirt, by the way.
Superman took Rose's mother away, and while he can't bring her back in any form that you would want watching a child, he can do the revenge thing, because he's good at that. Back at the Hall of Justice, Sinestro brings in the last man to see the location of Batman's prisoners, and Superman threatens Officer Sprague's family if he doesn't help. While over at the home of Jason Blood, otherwise known as Etrigan, Batman's team and all of the magic users that will work with Constantine are preparing their plans. Almost everyone is on board with this new magical turn, except for Harvey Bullock. This is getting a bit too crazy for him, so he turns away from the group and he prepares to leave. As he opens the door, Detective Chimp comes over to tell him, "You can't think like that. Things will get crazy, but you should honor Commissioner Gordon after his sacrifice. He would have stayed. But with the door open, there isn't any magical protection on the home, and Clarion can feel it. Something's coming." Jason Blood shouts for them to shut the door, and he runs to it with Harvey pushing it as hard as he can. But it's too late, as it's blown off the hinges and turns Jason Blood into Harvey into mush, and it throws Detective Chimp to the ground. Spectre has arrived, and he isn't here to play nice. Clarion and Zatanna try to get the protection magic back up and running, while Harley Quinn is upset because Detective Chimp's little hat fell off. Batman looks to Batwoman and Huntress. "Look for an exit. We need to get out of here now." And Constantine snaps at him. "That's the spirit of vengeance out there. Do you really think he'll be fooled by hiding in another room? You think you can protect us from the Spectre? You could barely walk after your injury. You're bloody useless! So Batman punches Constantine in the nose, and he turns to Zatanna. As soon as you feel the attack stop, I want you to teleport everyone out of here. I'm going out there to talk to him. He is the spirit of vengeance and he punishes criminals. We have something in common. Batman walks out the front door and he calls out, Spectre! Back inside, Constantine snaps to and he asks Clarion what's going on. Batman is talking to the Spectre. Jesus, the size of the coconuts on Batman. Zatanna turns to everyone and teleports them out of the house and back to the Tower of Fate, which doesn't fool the Spectre for even 1 second as he grabs Batman. Deceiver! Zatanna then reappears, grabs Batman, and warps away. He walks over to Constantine. You did that on purpose. Because you've been off your game, and if we're gonna have a chance to take down Superman, I'm gonna need Batman. Over on the other side of the tower, Harley is demanding that the Doctor come in right now. They need his help! But Dr. Fate has to explain, he isn't that kind of doctor. She demands to know what kind of doctor he is. It's complicated. Then lead me to my operating room, Mr. Fate. Meanwhile, back at the Hall of Justice, Sinestro is torturing Officer Sprague. And since he hasn't given up any information, Superman enters to tell him to stop the torture. It doesn't take much for Sinestro to convince Superman to let him continue though, as Superman walks out of the room as Officer Sprague continues to scream. Superman then enters the main hall, while Spectre appears to let him know there are new powers at work against him. Over in the tower, Constantine takes Batman with him to the one person that can tell them if their plans will work. At first, Madame Xanadu doesn't want to help Constantine. Everyone close to Constantine dies, and Constantine even gives Batman a chance to leave now. Walk away before someone gets hurt. But they've gone too far. So after she copes with the death of Jason Blood, she reveals the future to Constantine and Batman. The green will grow, hellfire will burn, a dead man will fall and a dead man will rise. The Empress awakens and the Emperor sleeps. Souls will be lost and traitors triumph. The Advisor vanishes and the Joker returns. Batman looks shocked. The Joker returns? That's impossible. And on that note, Constantine puts his plan into motion. Things begin with Clarion's cat knocking over one of the candles that binds Raven, freeing her astral spirit. The first thing she does is take off to tell Superman to come for her, warn him where she is now. But the cat knocking over the candle wasn't an accident. It was all a part of the plan. Superman takes off at top speeds, leaving behind Spectre and everyone, and he makes his way to a magical house, one so powerful that no matter how hard he hits the door, he can't get in. It literally hurts his hand. So plan B, he uses the yellow ring to make a construct and tears the building in half. And inside, he finds Raven lying there bound. He gives it a clap and the gust of wind destroys the circle holding her. Raven then gets up thanking him. But while Superman isn't paying attention, Raven becomes a series of rags that wrap around him. The being that is obviously not Raven tells Superman that he can feel his murdering soul. And Constantine steps out. I know, pretty dramatic, isn't it? This is obviously not Raven. It's Ragman, known as Rory to his friends. You don't get to call him Rory. The suit of rags absorbs corrupted souls and it traps them inside the cloak until they're atoned for their sins. But you literally murdered a planet. I guess you'll be trapped in there until the stars burn out. Superman then burns through the bindings with his heat vision and he shouts out, Spectre! Yeah, he's probably looking for you right now. But this place is pretty well hidden. You could only find it because we wanted you to. Meanwhile, at the Hall of Justice, the Spectre arrives to tell everyone that he's gone. Superman is missing and he can't sense him. So Lex Luthor gets on the computer and he tries to find the exact location of Superman's earpiece. At that moment, Constantine gets a little too cocky and he lets Superman continue to struggle. Superman reaches up and he hits his communicator yelling, Shazam! As he is a being of
Time to relax, Nissan Butter Coconut.
Shazam! That's right, Shazam is magic.
power. Shazam can hear his name being called, and at the speeds of lightning, he appears next to Superman. Ragman, get him! Constantine yells out. I can't. Shazam is an innocent. So Shazam grabs Ragman and he holds him up and shouts, Shazam! And a bolt of magical lightning comes through the roof, burning Ragman and causing a massive explosion that reveals their location to the rest of the regime. Constantine looks in horror as Spectre appears and grabs Ragman. He then begins to tear the cloak apart, freeing the souls to be judged by him, not this Ragman. He then takes off Ragman's mask to tell him it is time for his vengeance. Rory calls down to Constantine asking him for help, but Constantine turns his back to Rory, telling him, sorry mate. As Spectre kills Rory to the shock of Shazam, Superman gets up. Now you die, you little shit. He grabs Constantine and he demands to know where Raven is, but Shazam asks him, stop, Superman, please. So Superman puts down Constantine and thanks Shazam for coming to his rescue. He knew he would be here. Shazam takes Constantine and the whole group begins to head back to the Hall of Justice, where Sinestro is offering to get information out of Constantine. But things take an eerie turn mid-flight, as Deadman is waiting for them to pass through. And when Shazam comes near him, he possesses Shazam, and then he drops Constantine. John falls farther and farther until a top hat catches him, and Zatanna is waiting for him. Superman then turns around to ask what's going on, as Shazam holds his head, confused as to why he did that. Inside, Deadman and the young boy that becomes Shazam are both inside of Shazam, and they're kind of arguing as to what is going on. Billy wants to know what this is, and Deadman says that this is odd. He's never shared the inside of a person before. But not to worry, he'll return Billy's body after he speaks to Spectre. Deadman would like to know why the Spectre is siding with anyone in this war. Billy stares him down. I don't need all of my body. And in the real world, he calls out, Shazam! Turning himself back into Billy Batson. Spectre catches the boy and he looks at him, and he can see that there are 3 minds inside of him. The Spectre reaches inside and he yanks Deadman out of Billy. So Deadman takes his chance. I won't be speaking to you today, Spectre. I want to speak to the man inside, Jim Corrigan. The two of them stare at each other and Deadman asks, is he even in there? The Spectre then gives an evil grin, and Deadman looks scared. You're not Jim Corrigan, are you? Who are you? The Spectre then sends Deadman on, because as he tells Superman, the only thing here is a spirit that forgot to fade on. He'll help him. He uses his sword of vengeance to cut Deadman in half, and his essence begins to leak out of him, so he begins to drift away. Meanwhile, at the Tower of Fate, Constantine is trying to decide what to do next, and Batman storms in telling him that he should have told him about this plan. So Constantine takes Batman with him for the next piece of it. To the first part of the prophecy, the green will grow. They then walk to the heart of the green, Swamp Thing's swamp. Back with Deadman, he drifts to the Himalayas, to Nana Parbat, to ask the goddess to fix him. Don't let him fade away. He has so much more to accomplish. And she tells him that she can't do that. It is time for the Deadman to move on, and for another one to replace him. So he asks her, can I pick my own successor then? And she tells him she knows his choice. It's a wise one, and one that will return order. Back in the swamp, John asks his old friend Swamp Thing to aid them, but Swamp Thing tells him that he has already sided with Superman. Superman's cause will save the green, and that is his only concern. And John looks at him. I don't want you as an enemy. Nor I you, John. As John and Batman leave the swamp, John says to Batman, we're going to have to kill Swamp Thing. Meanwhile, back in Nana Parbat, Deadman smiles as his replacement arrives. The man reaches down and he holds Deadman's hand as Deadman begins to fade off. Thank you for choosing me. It's gonna be good to help again. And Deadman tells him, you were the only choice, Dick Grayson. Find Jim Corrigan, Grayson. He is at the heart of this, and tell Batman, tell your dad, goodbye for me. With that, Deadman transfers his power to Dick Grayson, making him the new Deadman. Over in the Tower of Fate, Constantine gathers the group to explain the situation and the prophecy. The green will grow, the hellfire will burn. That Swamp Thing and the hellfire could be a number of things. A dead man will fall, and a dead man will rise. That's already happened as well. The Empress awakens, and the Emperor sleeps. And Catwoman chimes in. Who's the Empress? And that's when Detective Chimp walks back over. That's Wonder Woman. My sources say that she's been asleep since this began. Did we do this? Constantine rolls his eyes. Yes. And she shouldn't be able to wake up, but those Amazons have some crazy gods on their side. Meanwhile, the Phantom Stranger takes Spectre into space to walk the rings of Saturn and figure out what's going on. It's not like the Spectre to side with anyone in a battle such as this. The Spectre explains that he's just keeping the balance. Superman has made things more balanced than it ever has been before, and the Stranger tells him that Superman is not the one that he serves. So Spectre grabs the Phantom Stranger and begins shoving him through the rings and into the planet. While the Spectre is occupied removing the Phantom Stranger as a threat, Superman realizes that his protection from magic is gone, and suddenly he hears a booming voice. The smell of brimstone, the odor of death, the stench of hellfire, on Etrigan's breath! Etrigan appears and he begins burning everyone with hellfire. Superman tries to put his hand over Etrigan's mouth, but it just burns him, and Etrigan cracks him over the head. Meanwhile, back in space, the Spectre can sense that Superman is in trouble, and he tries to leave, but the Phantom Stranger grabs him. You think me powerless, Spectre? I am eternal. So the Spectre turns to him and stabs him through the stomach. Nothing is. Rest, stranger. You have earned it. Back over at the Hall of Justice, Superman knocks Etrigan out the wall and into space. Why attack me, Etrigan? What do you want? It's nothing personal. A deal was done. Superman grabs Etrigan by the chest. What deal was done? What have you agreed to? Nothing crazy. Just to keep you close. Gone, oh Etrigan. Rise instead the form of. And then he changes into Batman. Surprised, Superman asks, Bruce? He throws magical powder into Superman's face.
Here's some
and
lavender.
Superman begins to feel woozy and tired, and he turns back to Bruce. You made a deal with the demon? You refuse to stand beside me and fix the world, but you'll stand against me with hell? He then hits the ground, asleep, and Batman walks away.
something like that.
Dream of the man you should have been, and never wake to this
That's
nightmare
kind of crazy,
again.
man. Batman making a deal with the devil.
While Batman and Constantine think that they've won, this isn't the end of their journey. Because Wonder Woman has also been placed in the same magical sleep ever since the day Green Arrow died. And she has just awoken to her mother and Ares, the god of war,
She was
standing
asleep
by
for
her
a
side.
year and a half.
They explain that she has been in a magical sleep for months, and that it took a deal with Hera to wake her up. The first thing Diana wants to know is where is Superman, and Ares tells her, much has happened since you fell asleep. Over in the Tower of Fate, Batman's base of operations, he turns to his prisoners, Flash, Raven, Cyborg, and Robin, to tell them Superman is down, and you can still undo the damage that you have done. We can be a team again. And Robin's response sums it up best for everyone. Screw you. Over in the Hall of Justice,
Jeez.
Diana returns demanding to know what happened. Why is Hal Jordan a Yellow Lantern? And then she walks into the hall where they are keeping Superman with Ares. But that's when she notices that Superman is wearing a Yellow Lantern ring, and she turns to Sinestro demanding to know what he did. She jumps on him and she begins to strangle him.
You dare
Sinestro
simp on
takes to the sky,
Superman?
telling the Amazon that she
Nobody
will not touch
simps
him
on
again.
Superman but
Wonder
me.
Woman doesn't care. She smashes through his constructs and throws him out of the building. She then jumps on him and punches him over and over, scaring everyone because she's never been this angry. Until Superman stops her by catching her
God, what
punch.
is that art?
Ares awoke him. What are you doing, Clark? Diana demands. And he explains that Sinestro is with him. And she tells him, nothing justifies him wearing a ring fueled by fear. Now give it to her. So, he does. And she crushes it before they take off to the skies to talk about what's been going on, what she's missed. He explains the Lantern War, Batman's actions,
go.
and the
Superman
dream
is
that
not
was
Yellow Lantern
paradise.
anymore.
In the dream, he had Lois, he had the farm, he had a daughter. He had a daughter! He saw what could have been, and then it was taken from him again. Now, he is that much angrier knowing what he's missed. And Diana tells him that this is their reality, and he needs to get over it. At that moment, Spectre fills Superman in on the location of Batman's
broke it
prisoners.
just like
they
that.
are all located in
Yeah.
the Tower of Fate. He can't go there himself,
And now Ares
but
is
he can
with
get
them.
Superman there. Which leads to the walls of the Tower of Fate exploding as Superman's regime enters it. While this is going on, Dick Grayson as the new Deadman enters the Gotham prison to find Jim Corrigan, the true host of Spectre, to see if he can figure out why the Spectre is acting so weird. But what he finds scares him, as Jim is laughing maniacally, not hosting the Spectre. Back in the Tower of Fate, Superman punches Batman into the back wall. So Batman tells his team to pop the green pills that they stole from Superman's regime that will grant them super strength, and Dr. Fate flips the tower, mixing everything up. They all begin fighting it out with Batman versus Superman, Catwoman
is, a
losing to
natural
Sinestro,
fight.
and Diana defeating Batwoman. And then Harley Quinn blows up Shazam. Constantine has a plan though as he tells Clarion to get ready. But before Clarion can do anything, Sinestro blasts him from behind, killing him.
he did.
So Constantine pulls his ace out of the hole, and he goes for one final summon. He calls on Trigon. You will burn for what you did, Kryptonian. Trigon shouts as he grabs Superman. We need to leave, Batman. You summon Trigon? No one summons Trigon. Then why is he here? Why is he attacking Superman? He's here because I sent out a magical beacon with his daughter's location. That and I had Etrigan spreading rumors in hell that Superman kidnapped Raven. He then tries to pull on Batman, pulling him out of the room. Meanwhile, Harley looks on Trigon. Oh my god, it's the guy from Legend! I love that movie! Are there gonna be unicorns too? Hal calls the Shazam to go find Raven now, and then Harley turns to see Shazam leaving. Shazzy, where are you going? You're gonna miss the unicorns! Dang it, kind of fallen in love with you a little bit. But while she's debating what she should do
Harley,
about
please.
Shazzy, Trigon
He's just a
guts the
boy.
god of war. So Batman's whole team begins to leave with Harley saying goodbye to any potential unicorns, while Trigon smashes all of the heroes.
And
But
it's
just
because
as
of
Bruce
Magic
is leaving
Royal
through the
Rumble.
portal, Dick Grayson appears to him. Grayson explains that he now has the power of Deadman, and that he found Jim Corrigan in a straitjacket laughing, and that he was put there magically by whoever is in the Spectre. So Batman asks, then who is in the Spectre? Meanwhile, back in the Tower of Fate, the true identity of the Spectre finally reveals itself to save Superman from Trigon. It's Mr. Mxyzptlk, and he's been following Superman since the start, keeping him safe, because only he is
All
allowed
these
to mess with
deep-cut
Superman,
DC
and no one else can
magicians,
kill
chat.
and remove him from the multiverse.
If you have not heard of
Simply
him before,
put,
you've
as
heard
he
of him
explains
now.
it to the heroes, if Superman is killed, then this will be a very boring multiverse for him. And with that, their epic brawl with neither truly winning but their powers being so fast that no one else can get involved begins. But as their battle hits new levels of insanity, Wonder Woman throws out the idea that maybe they should get the heck out of the Tower of Fate because there are literally two guys tearing reality apart in here. So, Mr. Mxyzptlk says, that's a great idea, and he teleports everyone to the front of the House of Mystery, where Batman and crew are hiding. He then teleports Batman and Constantine outside with Superman, and he tells Constantine, you have some explaining to do before going back and fighting Trigon once more. Realizing the superpowered heroes have been badly beaten, Batman's crew comes running out of the house getting ready to continue their fight. But just as they appear to be winning, as they are finally beating down Superman and friends, Swamp Thing gets involved.
Swamp Thing!
He grabs everyone up in plant and he tells Constantine that he doesn't want to hurt John, and he knows that John was already planning to kill him. So John teleports out of the hold the Swamp Thing has on him and into the House of Mystery. But in the House of Mystery, Dr. Fate tells Grayson just how bad this is. The green is not something you can win against. But let's say they actually do. Well, then they have Trigon eventually winning his fight, and he'll turn his 4 eyes onto the group to kill them. They can't win like this. And just then, John teleports into the house to inform them that this is horrible that Swamp Thing is involved. This is not what they wanted to fight. Grayson and Dr. Fate look at him. We already know how bad this is. Well, fine, give me some time, John tells them, and Grayson gets an idea. Meanwhile, back outside, the fight continues with Diana dropping Catwoman, Harley Quinn blowing kisses to Shazam before he shoves her into the ground, and Batwoman defeating Sinestro. Renee Montoya and Hal are fighting on the other side, and she's actually beating him until he gets tired of it and smashes her with a construct. Superman and Batman are still fighting it out though, and Superman tells him that he will never be as strong as him, no matter how many strength pills he takes. And Batman tells him that he isn't going to be like him. He has humanity. At that moment, Shazam knocks Batman out of the fight. Things would be lost if not for Grayson's plan. He went to possess Poison Ivy and he has her flying the Batplane to the fight right now. As he gets closer with Shazam standing over Batman, no one is sure what's gonna happen next. So Grayson leaps out of the Batplane and into Shazam, where he instantly calls down Shazam, turning him back into Billy Batson. Poison Ivy then leaps out of the plane and into the fight, confused as to why she's even here. But she does see that the forest is burning around her due to Trigon's hellfire. That's when Swamp Thing sees her, and the battle begins with green versus green. While this is happening, Batwoman and Helena jump in to fight against Superman, seeing that he's now weakened. But Wonder Woman jumps in their way and begins fighting against them on behalf of Superman. Back with Billy Batson and Bruce, Grayson, while possessing Billy's body, tells Bruce to forgive. Grayson tells him to let Grayson's death go. That Bruce was the greatest father that he ever knew, and his life would have been ruined if Bruce didn't adopt him. And now, his other son needs his help. Damian, don't turn your back on your son, Bruce. They then hug with Batman thanking him, and Grayson leaves Billy's body, and Bruce knocks him out. Meanwhile, Batwoman and Helena are putting up a good fight against Wonder Woman. They're at least keeping her at bay, until Wonder Woman throws her lasso out and wraps it around Helena's neck, breaking it. Both Diana and Batwoman stop, and then Batwoman jumps on her shouting, "Murderer!" But all of this is the least of their problems, because Trigon is done playing games, and he is bringing this whole place down to hell. All of reality begins to tear apart, and everyone can feel it. This fight is literally hitting its breaking point. It stops everyone in their tracks. Swamp Thing and Poison Ivy stop fighting, and they begin working together to fix the green, and Diana and Batwoman stop their brawl, and even Batman and Superman need to stop what they're doing. Inside the House of Mystery, John realizes everything is done. They've lost, and the heroes that are outside of the House of Mysteries will die when it gets pulled down to hell. So Flash tells him, "Let me go. I have enough speed force in me that I can still go out there and get everyone." John takes a drag off his cigarette and releases Flash. He saves everyone that he can, and almost everyone gets inside of the house until it comes to Swamp Thing. By the time he gets to Swamp Thing, it's too late, and Swamp Thing is pulled down into hell with everything. Yikes. Flash was smart though. There are 2 magical houses out here, and he split them up, Batman's team and Superman's team. This is only a temporary fix though. Trigon and Mr. Mxyzptlk are going to destroy everything and bring it all to hell. Grayson suggests that he can try to possess either one of them, but John tells him that that won't work. Both are outside of his pay grade, and Batman figures it all out. He turns to John. "You planned this all along. You knew this was going to happen. You're hiding something." And John disappoints him. "No, sorry. There was no accounting for Mxyzptlk coming in here causing a titanic celestial overload. They'll go supernova magically speaking unless we can convince them to pack their toys and go elsewhere. Then that's what we'll do. We'll teleport them into the void, where they can never get back to us," Dr. Fate chimes in. "Shazam's lightning can transport Billy to another dimension, and I have a mastery over lightning. I can control it." "We're out of time," John says, as the windows explode with the power of the Titans. So Grayson decides that he'll do it, and he takes off out of the house. Meanwhile, in the House of Secrets, Diana can't think of.
Oh, no. Yeah, this year 3 version is just magic fight. And if you don't know your magic in DC, you will get confused and wonder what the hell's going on. But this happened, man. This happened because Superman is weak to magic, and they thought they could stop him with that, and it just turns into where we are now, right? With Trigon, Mr. the Dead Man, Dr. Fate, Constantine, Zatanna, all that.
But just at that moment, Grayson gets into the house and he tells her to stop. Dr. Fate has a plan, and it requires Billy Batson. As Grayson begins walking Billy outside and Dr. Fate flies out of his house, Damian sees the ghost of Dick. Dick, aye. It's okay, Damian. Billy walks outside and stands beneath 2 of the most powerful beings in the entire multiverse, terrified. But Dr. Fate stands out there with him in the middle of this mess of magic. At that moment, Raven finally wakes up and sees her father out there, and she flies out into the magical storm. So, standing beneath everything with all of reality tearing itself apart in front of them, Dr. Fate stands with Billy, and he shouts, Shazam!
Shazam!
The lightning comes down to Billy, and Dr. Fate redirects it onto Trigon and Mr. Mxyzptlk, and he transports them both away, ending this entire mess. The magical explosion was so great that it knocked everyone onto their butts, and Zatanna had to show up and teleport Batman's team to the hidden base in Alaska that he built a long time ago. And then he turns to Batwoman. Where's Constantine? Meanwhile, at the Hall of Justice, Superman apologizes to his team, admitting that he has made some questionable actions. If he hadn't been focused on Batman, he might have seen Trigon and Mxyzptlk coming. He then thanks them and goes into space to overlook Earth, while Wonder Woman joins him and admits she was wrong. Sometimes it's okay to dream. And Constantine? He's with his daughter Rose Constantine, the one that started all of this when Batman walks in. John! It's about time, Bats. I wish I could say it's been a pleasure. You've been playing all of us from the start, haven't you? Your whole endgame was to get rid of Trigon. Took you longer than the chimp to sort that one out, mate. The chimp wanted to talk about that weeks ago. This has always been about Rose. I would do anything to keep her safe ever since Superman's bloody war dropped an alien on Rose's mum. You said you wanted revenge against Superman for that. You both deserve a shot in the bullocks. Him for being a tyrannical wanker, and you for being so simple-minded. Now, it's time for me and Rose to leave.
Bye.
Consider this a magical relocation program. No one will ever put my daughter in jeopardy again. I trusted you, John. Your mistake, mate. I'm not a hero. I'm just a father with a kid to raise. And as Batman watched John vanish off of this plane of existence, he looked down to see a drawing that Rose had made of a potential happy family. Mom, Dad, and her.
Got him. Wow, Constantine outplayed
Olympus, a kingdom.
Batman, right? You would think about stopping Superman all this time? No, just getting rid of Trigon so that his family is safe and his daughter is safe, right? They wasted an entire year on that. Batman's like, oh, we can take down Superman with magic, but with Constantine, it's like, no, it's not about taking down Superman. This is not about your fight. This is me getting my family to safety. It's a bit BS, but at the same time, that is Constantine. That's how we be. What's up, nurse? We're just watching this right now. Because next week, we're going to play the Storm of Injustice. Alright, now we're in year 4. And I think with this one, and now with year 4, I think the gods are now going to be involved in this.
That few believe even exists, and even fewer have actually seen. Most accept the world that they are a part of, not even considering alternate timelines, magical dimensions, and places that exist outside of known reality. But Olympus is not merely folklore, nor is it myth meant to account for what could not be explained by primitive man. Olympus is real, and so are the gods that inhabit it. And the gods are discussing the situation on Earth, in which these beings referring to themselves as superheroes are taking over the planet. And Ares states that it's time to put mankind back in its place.
So yeah, with this one, it's like the gods are pissed because the superheroes are now, you know, the quote-unquote gods in the world. And then Olympus got jealous and be like, now we're the gods, not some dudes in capes and all that. So yeah, Ares consulted the elder gods, and this is what happens next.
While down on Earth in the Hall of Justice, Superman is sitting on his self-appointed throne, trying to figure out where Batman is. Ever since their battle that involved the magics of heaven and hell and the death of Huntress, he's been in hiding. And Superman tells Hal Jordan, the Yellow Lantern, that they need to do better at finding Batman. And Hal tells him not to speak to him like that. Just because he's in control of the Justice League does not make him better than the Justice League. They aren't his subjects, so don't talk to them like they are. Superman stands up and informs Hal that he doesn't have time for his delicate ego and to take his hurt feelings and go somewhere else.
Wow.
Hal begins to get his ring ready, and Superman begins to heat his eyes up when Wonder Woman walks in. She reminds Superman that they are his friends, and he shouldn't be trying to turn his friends into insurgents like Batman. Meanwhile, Batman is hiding in Alaska, in a lead-lined base trying to decide if he should accept the offer that he has been given. How far is too far for this war to go? Alfred walks over and gives him his dinner before asking him if he's thought about reaching out to Damian, and Bruce tells him that he has no idea where Damian is. So Alfred reminds him, the Joker is not your fault. Superman is not your fault. Dick Grayson's death is not your fault. None of this is your burden to carry alone. Batman takes the Batjet to a random mountaintop where Ares, the god of war, is standing, and he tells him, I'm in. Meanwhile, Renee Montoya is drinking herself into a stupor. This war between Superman and Batman has cost her Huntress, and she's about to get her revenge. So she decides that she's gonna get Superman's attention by attacking Cyborg and Robin. She drops Cyborg in a single hit, leaving just her and Robin. Damian throws a batarang at her, and it breaks off her head, and she asks, are you done? He runs in and tries to punch her, then kick her, then punch her right in the nose. And she doesn't even flinch. She then uppercuts him into the sky.
Spit it
As
down
he
too.
bounces into the streets nearby, she walks up and grabs him by the head and yells into the nearby news chopper's cameras. Superman, face me or Robin dies. Superman is sitting with his parents asking if they are afraid of him when he can hear her shouting with his super hearing, and he asks them to turn the TV on. He then rockets off to face her. Meanwhile, Billy Batson is getting pulled out of school by a woman claiming to be his mother, Harley Quinn. She walks him out to her motorcycle, a Harley for Harley as she says, and asks him to turn into his better half. When he refuses, she knocks him out and takes him hostage. Back with Superman and Renee, Superman hits her from behind, forcing her to drop Robin. She gets back on her feet and we can see how she is so strong suddenly. She is popping every single one of the super strength wrenching pills that she can get her hands on. All at once, her muscles begin bulging as she begins screaming, I'm gonna kill you, Superman! She gets in a few hits, but then he hits her with everything that he has, throwing her through the nearby Washington Monument. So, she tears it out of the ground and hits Superman with it, sending him flying. Then she reels back in pain and hits the ground. Those pills give their users incredible amounts of strength, but they are a terrible strain on the human heart. And Renee just took a handful of them. Superman rockets back onto the scene, slamming her into the ground, demanding that she stop. He can see the strain on her heart. But it's too little, too late, as she falls to the ground, spewing the green liquid all over the place. Nearby, a Wayne helicopter lands and Bruce Wayne gets out, and he runs to catch Renee as she dies from her overdose. Superman looks at Bruce, mourning over the loss of another friend, and he tells him, just go. Wonder Woman is in shock. Clark, we've been searching all over for him for months, and he's right here. No, this isn't Batman. This is Bruce Wayne, and he's here to take his friend home. This war has cost us too much. It's over. Say it, Bruce. With tears in his eyes, Bruce tells him, it's over. He then takes Renee Montoya and he heads back to his hideout, where he dons the cowl and tells his friends, this isn't over.
This isn't
While
over.
Bruce prepares for the next part of his mission, Barbara Gordon calls Lex Luthor, their secret man on the inside for Batman's team. She tells him that she needs his help, and he tries an experimental procedure to repair her broken spine. Because in this universe, Barbara Gordon is still crippled by the Joker. While Lex is working on his own experiment to save the day, a clone of Superman.
Bizarro.
Meanwhile, Billy Batson wakes up to Harley Quinn standing in front of him while he's tied to a chair. She welcomes him to her secret hideout, the Quiver. Yes, she knows that this looks like Green Arrow's old hideout, but he's not around anymore. But that's when she gets a call to return to Batman's hideout, and it's time to move. So she gasses Billy and leaves him tied to that chair. Batman prepares his team for the big move that is coming, and Barbara surprises everyone by walking in as Batgirl. When Batman tries to stop her, she tells him that it's her choice, not his, and she's going to help in this fight. Harley backs her up too. True dat, son! And with that, Batman's latest plan begins, as the Amazons march on the Hall of Justice, with Hermes demanding that by the decree of Zeus, Superman leave Earth. Or suffer the wrath of the Amazon
Superman,
army.
leave
Wonder
Earth.
Woman is in shock. What is this? And she walks up to Artemis,
Leave Earth. So yeah, Batgirl's back. And now it's the Amazons that's about to challenge them. I will say, I'll admit this, that the first 2 years of Injustice, I was like hooked on it. But in the later years, or between 3 and 4, it got weird. I'll admit that.
Know who ordered this attack? Well, as it turns out, the deal that was struck to wake Wonder Woman from her magical sleep was that Hera was owed a favor. And that favor was to have Wonder Woman's mother march the Amazons on Superman for daring to treat himself as a god. Her mother did refuse, but Hera just imprisoned her. Upon hearing this, Wonder Woman grabs Hermes. My mother better not be hurt. And then she attempts to order the Amazons to stand down. But as she's told, she holds no dominion over them right now. This leaves Superman and his team wondering how this even got started, and that's when Batman arrives landing the Batplane. Yeah. Superman demands to know if Batman has forgotten the last time that they spoke.
Batman and his handful of waifus.
You are wrong, Clark. It's not over, Batman simply says as he walks over. And I had nothing to do with this. It was your mother, Diana. But we'll benefit from them being on the right side, he says with a smile. Hermes is growing tired of this, though. Yeah. What is your answer, Superman? Superman looks at Wonder Woman. Is there anything we can do? Yes. I demand that we settle this with judgment by combat. One champion from each side to the death. And Hermes accepts. Superman steps forward. I will be my own champion. Now choose yours. And Harley Quinn jumps in. I volunteer! I volunteer as tribute! Everyone turns to look at her weird. Harness Everquinn? Anyone? Luckily, everyone ignores her and Batman turns back to Superman. On behalf of the gods, we choose Wonder Woman. She jumps on Batman. How dare you! But Hermes throws her off. I will not allow this. This drives Superman to jump on Hermes, and the battle begins with Harley Quinn shouting, "It's on, District 12!" At that moment, a bolt of lightning hits the ground. Enough! And Zeus stands before everyone. I will not have this divine challenge ignored
Zeus with his
by
nipple
my daughter
out.
or anyone else. Hal, Flash, and Cyborg all look at each other. Did you know her dad was? Nope. Wonder Woman takes this chance. How can this be? My mother would never have agreed to this. And Zeus explains that due to her awakening, she must fight in the side of Hera. And if she refuses, her mother will die.
Damn.
So, she apologizes to Clark,
like that.
and they begin their battle. Wonder Woman comes in with a swing of her sword, and Superman blocks it with his forearm, shattering her sword. He then gets in a right hook, causing her to bleed. She then kicks him, so he punches her in the gut and then across the jaw. And when she comes in for a punch, he headbutts her, busting her nose, and citing the rage of an Amazon. She elbows him in the knee, gouges out his eyes, and breaks his arm. He then looks up at her and bombards her with his heat vision. Wonder Woman holds her shield up and walks into it. You know this won't stop me, Clark. It'll hurt, but it won't stop me. She then cracks him over the face with her shield, and he lunges at her with the full strength of his abilities, punching her in the jaw. I will kill you if I have to! Yikes. And they both step back, and Wonder Woman asks him to yield. She doesn't want to kill him, and he jumps back in. Want has nothing to do with it! They both jump back into it, Wonder Woman getting in multiple shots, and Hal Jordan looking on and realizing this isn't the Superman that he knew. Superman was fearful. He feared for humanity because he was linked to humanity through Lois. And now he isn't. The yellow ring can sense somebody's fear, and he can sense none in Superman. He is now beyond caring about himself or anyone else. Wonder Woman then pummels Clark into the ground and then holds him up by his symbol. It's over. She then winds up prepared to take his life, and she gets blasted by yellow energy. Sinestro has returned, and he isn't about to let Superman lose. Zeus shouts out, "Who dares?" And everyone turns to Sinestro. Why did you do that? Isn't it obvious? The traitor was about to kill Superman, and you were all standing there. Superman hits Sinestro with everything he has, throwing him across the planet. No more from you. Zeus then turns to the army. You know the task that is before you, Hermes. Understood, Allfather. Army of Zeus, attack!
Get him!
Everyone jumps in to continue this fight. The army of Zeus, Superman's regime, Batman's insurgency. But one fight takes precedence over all of this. Damian stands before Bruce. I've waited a long time for this one, Dad. And he tells him, and you won't mind waiting longer. And Batgirl knocks out Damian. Hermes runs at his full speed, laughing at the idea of another speedster. And he drops Flash, while Artemis drops Hal Jordan. Then Superman shouts, enough! And he uses his super breath to push everyone down. But it's not really the end, is it? As the gods arrive,
God, more gods.
Apollo shouts, you have incurred the wrath of the gods. Surrender or die. And he was surrounded by his fellow gods, Atlas, Eros, Hercules, and Athena. So Cyborg puts a call out to the rest of the Justice League. They're gonna need everyone. Raven hears the call but refuses to come as she's mourning the loss of her father Trigon. Billy is still unconscious in the quiver, with Ares, the god of war, looking over him. Lex sees the beacon go off but chooses to ignore it so he can continue his work on a Superman clone. So Superman stands there, silent, with no reinforcements. Hermes can see that Superman is defeated, so he gives him 1 day to abdicate his false throne and leave the Hall of Justice. He then orders Artemis to pull back and make camp. Batman can't believe it! They have Superman on the run! Why are they pulling back? We can't give them time to fortify their position. And Hercules corrects him. There is no we, mortal. There is only the will of my father. Tell your caped friends to stand down or I will. So Superman and his regime begin to walk back into the hall, picking up their injured. But Hermes tells Diana to stop and come with him, as she now stands with Zeus. She turns furious. I will not! And she jumps on Hermes, punching him. Diana, stop, Superman shouts, and Hal wonders if they should be joining her. But Hercules comes in and hits Wonder Woman over the head so hard that she bleeds. Damian then asks, we're jumping in now, right? And Superman replies with, leave the big one to me. So Cyborg amplifies the sun's rays to repair Superman's arms, and they begin battling the gods again. Hal Jordan tries to take on Hercules, but Hercules shatters his constructs and knocks him to the ground, where Harley takes a cheap shot and kicks him. Hercules then lifts her off the ground, telling her that this is his fight, and she can go. He then continues to approach Hal, so Hal hits him with a blast of fear. But Hercules ignores it, telling Hal, your fear-mongering days are over. And then he goes in for a punch that could crush a mere mortal. Luckily, Superman catches it, and Wonder Woman jumps in so they both begin battling with Hercules. Hercules is a demigod though, and he uppercuts Superman into space before grabbing Diana by the throat. Batman's team looks on in horror as they realize that this is a massacre. Is this really what they wanted? Meanwhile, in the quiver, Ares approaches Billy Batson and removes the tape over his mouth. It's time. Superman needs you. So Billy shouts, Shazam! And the superhero with the power of the gods prepares to enter the battlefield.
Shazam was in the comics, right? Before they just offed him in the game. Jeez.
Shazam is coming in hot, ready to fight this. He was tied up in Harley Quinn's base, but now Ares has released him to come to Superman's aid. Superman is about to lose his fight against the old gods, but Shazam has the wisdom of Solomon, the strength of Hercules, the stamina of Atlas, the power of Zeus, the courage of Achilles, and the speed of Mercury. Superman might be having problems with a single god, but Shazam has the power of 6 gods, and he is on Superman's side. Standing in front of the Hall of Justice, Hercules is currently holding Wonder Woman by the throat, ready to end the life of his own sister, when Shazam slams him from behind. Kick his ass, Shazzy, Harley shouts. And Hercules begins fighting it out with Shazam by punching him in the face. But Shazam uses everything he has to slam Hercules in the gut. Meanwhile, Wonder Woman is struggling to regain her breath when 3 of Huntress's friends walk up behind her. Wonder Woman murders Huntress by mistake when they all fought against Trigon in year 3. Batwoman kicks Wonder Woman while she's down, and using her own lasso, she wraps it around Wonder Woman's neck. She begins to strangle her as Batgirl tries to stop her, but Batwoman lets her go. You aren't worth it, Diana. Over with Shazam and Hercules, the power of 2 gods can be heard with every punch. The ground is literally...
Yeah, sure. God, more ads. I better... Yeah, we're paying this channel, though. The guy's gone. Right, so we're just doing our thing here.
Back by their force. There. So Shazam changes it up, and he thunderclaps Hercules' ears, and then he headbutts him and double slams him on the back. Let's change your name to Hercules, because you don't deserve my H. Meanwhile, Superman is in space from the uppercut that Hercules gave him last time, and he's finally coming to realize that this is the end. So he comes rocketing back to Earth at unbelievable speeds, using all of the force of entering orbit to finish off Hercules, burying him into the ground. Everyone stops, because Superman just killed the demigod. So Apollo shoots him in the shoulder and curses him with a plague. Shazam tears the arrow out, and then he punches Apollo with his strength, leading the rest of the gods to jump in and fight. But over on the other side of the battlefield, Batman gets hit in the head with a baton, and Damian stands there. I'm gonna enjoy kicking your ass. Batman and Damian have been at odds ever since Damian accidentally killed Nightwing, with Damian joining Superman's regime and Batman leading the insurgency. Damian jumps in and Batman blocks it. Batman tries to calm his own son down, telling him that he's the most skilled fighter to ever wear the Robin costume. But Damian screams, "Don't say it too loud, your favorite son might hear you." This isn't about Dick, Damian. It's always been about Dick! I'm really sorry, Damian, Batman says into Damian's eyes, for blaming you for what happened. It wasn't your fault. And then Batman throws Damian to the ground. But Damian gets up and punches him. I don't believe you! Come back to me, Damian. We can be Batman and Robin again. So Damian tears the R off his chest. I will never be your Robin again. I'd rather die first. He leaps in and
Sheesh.
Batman knees him in the stomach, knocking him out. While back with Shazam, he takes off into the sky to break Eros' wings. And then he's struck by lightning, turning him back into Billy Batson. He falls to the
Zeus?
ground and standing in front of him is Zeus. He stares at him and shouts the word that brings back his powers. Shazam! But nothing happens. Zeus stares
took
at
your
him.
powers,
I am
sucker.
the All-Father, and you only have your powers because I granted them. No more will you hurt my children.
Damn,
Superman,
man, he's
abdicate
useless
your
now.
throne or I will punish you all, starting with this boy. Harley runs at Zeus. Let him go! So Zeus hits her with a lightning bolt, killing her. I need an answer, Superman. Realizing he
Harley
doesn't have
died
an
at
option,
one point.
Superman sends his team back to their home cities to wait for word from him, and they all disperse. Once the battle has ended, the world asks the question, what's next? Are the ancient gods going to rule the earth now? Where is Superman going to go? And the old leaders question, can they do something to get their power back from Superman? Over at the Hall of Justice, Ares the God of War approaches Superman to continue their plans. Ares has been playing both sides. He convinced Batman to join the fight, while at the same time has secretly been working with Superman. After we learn that he hasn't
conflict.
always been the God
you
of
feed
War,
off
but was
conflict.
actually a thing turned into the God of War because of his love for war by Zeus. He informs Superman that if he wants to stop Zeus, he'll need to get Zeus's brothers involved, Poseidon and Hades. Ares does love war. But who is Ares really working for? Meanwhile, over at Themyscira, the home of the Amazons, and Zeus's army's location, Wonder Woman barges into Batman's tent as she's being forced to be on Zeus and Batman's side because her father is Zeus. She demands to know how he dare go to her father for support. Look at what he's done! And he tells her, he only wanted Superman to surrender. He isn't the one who called for trial by combat. That was her who demanded that she get to fight against Superman. At that moment, both of them begin to feel the ground shaking beneath them, and they run outside to see a monstrous wave approaching them. Meanwhile, in the underworld, Harley Quinn is on a boat with Billy Batson and Wonder Woman's mother, being sent to the Dungeon of the Damned. Back on Themyscira, everyone is heading outside to see a giant wall of water coming their way. But Batman realizes the water has paused and it's waiting. It's Poseidon, and he's holding the wall up, so Wonder Woman jumps up there to ask what the meaning of this is. He demands that Zeus abandon this pointless pursuit and return to Olympus. And then a blast of heat vision takes down Hermes and his flyer, allowing Poseidon to declare that he stands with the Kryptonian. So Batman tries to call Aquaman for help, but Aquaman tells him that he won't be getting involved with this, and he hangs up on Batman. That's when Mara gives him a look. The look that says they need to get involved. Wonder Woman jumps up and punches Superman for getting more gods involved in this, and then an arrow from the Amazon army flies and it hits Poseidon in the shoulder. So Poseidon lets the wave come down on the island, just as it gets inches from crushing everyone. Mara stops it. Poseidon swipes his trident at Wonder Woman, throwing her into the water, and Aquaman tackles him. Batgirl, Catwoman, and Batwoman decide that they can't fight against a wall of water, so they're gonna work on getting everyone to safety before it falls. And back on the wall of water, Poseidon hits Aquaman in the junk and stabs him. You're just a man fighting a god. Superman breaks from the fight to go get Diana in the water, and Poseidon begins pummeling Mara, trying to get her to break her concentration so that his wall of water can fall. So Aquaman pulls Poseidon down into the water, and then he hits Poseidon with a right hook and then a left hook, while a squid brings him his trident and he runs Poseidon through the back. He then holds him up and feeds him to a shark. When Aquaman goes back to the surface, he can see that Mara can't hold the water anymore, and the entire wall of water crashes down at Themyscira. Meanwhile, back in the underworld, Harley is popping green pills that grant strength and wrecking anyone in her path to try and get the three of them out of here. That is until she causes so many problems in the underworld that Ares appears down below to stop her. She gives him a kick and steals his mother box? They then boom to another place. A place that they don't want to be. Back on Themyscira, the waves are crashing down on the Amazon city, and everyone is trying to evacuate beyond a couple of cliffs so that Batman can bomb the cliffs and seal the water off. While Batman does manage to seal the water and save the civilians, he is left on the wrong side of the wave with the Amazon army and Batwoman, until Flash runs in to save everyone. He runs up to the cliff. Oh man, oh man, oh man, too close, too close! Zeus then appears and tells his brother to stop this right this second and pull the ocean back. Why do you side with the Kryptonian? Are your strings that easily pulled? No, I do this on my own accord. Then you defy my choice? No, All-Father. And Poseidon retreats, leaving only Superman to stand before Zeus. Superman, you have lost your right to inhabit this planet. Leave right now or die. So Superman swings at Zeus! His punches literally go through thin air, and Zeus smacks him aside. But that's when Batman runs over to Clark. We've all been played! Zeus then hits them all with lightning. and Clark struggles to get out the words. What do you know? More than I'm about to say. I got word that Harley has a mother box. Realizing that this can only mean one thing, Superman leaves Earth. Meanwhile, we see where Harley, Billy, and Wonder Woman's mother have all boom-tubed to. Apocalypse. Darkseid is behind all of this, and that's when Superman hits him at top speed. He flew all the way here. Your scheming with Ares ends now. He shouts, hitting Darkseid again, and then with his heat vision, he cuts all of the chains holding everyone. I've been waiting for you, Kryptonian.
They could have killed Harley
I want
Quinn
my
there,
revenge for what you did to my
didn't.
son. For those of you only joining us now, all the way back in the first year of Injustice, Superman killed Kalibek, Darkseid's son. Superman jumps on Darkseid. You will never touch Earth again, hitting him with everything, and then Darkseid throws Superman back. Billy gets himself, Harley, and Diana's mother back to Earth, where Zeus is attacking the planet and destroying all of the other religions to show that he is the one true religion. While back on Apokolips, Superman and Darkseid are using everything, and their power is so tremendous that it may destroy the planet of Apokolips. Neither of them can win because Superman cutting loose is more power than Darkseid can handle. But Darkseid is also a new god, a being of tremendous power in his own right. Darkseid is amused. So we fight to the death then, Kryptonian. Back with Harley and Billy, Batman and Wonder Woman show up, and Batman tells Harley to give him the mother box. He has a plan. He always has a plan.
I have a plan.
He boom tubes the new Genesis, the home of the High Father, the new god All-Father. Back with Superman and Darkseid. Darkseid begins taunting Superman. You are dark, darker than normal. Is this due to the death of your wife? No, you don't get to talk about her! And he hits him even harder! Superman is beyond angry! They both punch with such force that the very concussion of the impact throws everyone down. One of Darkseid's followers runs over. Master, you must stop! The core will rupture! So Darkseid kills him! You
Shut up!
Darkseid! Superman then uses his heat vision to throw Darkseid back again, through the walls and into the very planet itself. That's when Orion shows up, another of the new gods. Kal-El, you must stop! Darkseid gets up and looks at Orion. You dare interrupt us? When I finish with him, you will feel my wrath. But Orion tells him that he comes with a message from the Source. If they continue this fight, Darkseid will die.
My sources, I made it the F up.
Darkseid grits his teeth. And the Kryptonian? The Source was not clear. So Superman looks at Darkseid. Let me make this clear. Stay away from Earth. Back on New Genesis, Batman explains the situation to the High Father, but the High Father doesn't want to get involved. Until Batman explains, the old gods and the new gods are now working together. Ares and Darkseid have caused this latest conflict. Back on Earth, the world's leaders decide to take action against the gods on Olympus, at the exact same time that the remaining members of the Justice League are marching on their throne on Earth. As the League and the gods fight it out, the world's leaders fired nukes, and they're coming in threatening to kill everyone. Hal Jordan told them all not to worry, he has it this time, until Arrow shoots him in the back with an arrow. So Wonder Woman decides that she'll sacrifice herself. She flies up and catches both nukes, and then she flies into space, throwing them up there until Superman, on his way back from Apokolips, grabs them and brings them even further into space. As Wonder Woman falls down to Earth, Superman catches her this time. He then lands in the throne room of the gods, and he calls for Zeus. It's time to end this, and Zeus appears. You dare invoke my name! Zeus raises his staff and he condemns Superman to death.
How did
the
this end
High
again?
Father then appears in front of Zeus. No,
Yes.
I cannot permit this folly to continue. You dare give me permission? I will lay waste to this entire island. Then, the High Father freezes time to speak to Zeus alone. You were manipulated, Zeus. They toyed with you to destroy Superman and you ultimately. You chose the survival of Olympus over Earth a long time ago, and the Source has told me that your time on Earth is at an end. The Source? Then the High Father unfreezes time, and Zeus tells Hera, it's time to go. He then gives Billy back the power of Shazam. Superman leaves and he grabs Ares by the throat and he drops him off with Darkseid. He's yours now, Darkseid. I don't ever want to see him on Earth again. And Darkseid's left to torture Ares forever. Superman then goes to the world's leaders to tell them that he's going to remove their nukes again. This will not happen a third time. Meanwhile, Lex and Batman are talking about how they can't think of a way to stop Superman. They are running out of options. Lex suggests that maybe now, Batman will consider that there are others out there, powerful individuals with a stake in Earth who could be convinced to join the fight. That's when Lex's alarms go off, as his clone of Superman that he's been working on behind the scenes has broken free.
That's where they started toying the multiverse. All right,
There was
one
a
last
time,
year,
a
chat.
time when one who
Getting
could
close.
soar overhead chose to walk among us. But then, things changed. He lost his wife, his unborn child, and the man that he thought was his friend started a war against him. In his place no longer stood a symbol of hope, but a symbol of fear and control. As the old saying goes, you'll either die a hero, or you'll live long enough to see yourself turn into a tyrannical, despotic monster. In the center of Metropolis, someone blew up a statue of Superman, and he arrives there with the Flash. Superman tells him to round up the terrorists, and in an instant he grabs all 4 of them. But then they all receive word that there is actually 5 terrorists. Superman asks these people who they are, and one brave woman tells him they are the ordinary people against the rule of Superman. Superman and Flash then run off to find the 5th person, not realizing that the 5th person is right there. You see, he's the bench. He's actually a shapeshifter, and at this exact moment, he is the bench right next to where they tied up all of his friends. He gets up and he begins to untie them, but they tell him to stay hidden, and he tells them, shh, we don't have a lot of time. But that's when the Flash shows up standing next to them. You actually have less than a minute. The shapeshifter turns into a massive monster, but before he can do anything, Superman knocks him out cold, and they take him to the Hall of Justice. This boy is a problem, because his name is Luke, and he's actually the son of Patrick O'Brien, or as you may better know him as, Plastic Man. Like what you done with the place? What do you want, Plastic Man? For you to stop pretending you don't know that I'm here for my son? We can't release your son. Of course you can. What's the point of being a despot if you can't abuse your power for your friends? All the best dictatorships have a healthy sprinkling of nepotism. Am I right? Up top. He then holds his hand up for Superman to give him a high five, and of course, Superman ignores it. Wonder Woman chimes in. Superman is no despot. He is literally sitting on a throne. It's a chair. Well, it's a very big chair. Oh, come on. Do you guys really think you're still the good guys here? Look at you. You don't even have to look in the mirror. Look at your teammate Sinestro. He has an actual bad guy mustache. I bet he even twirls it when you're not looking. Whatever you have to say, Plastic Man, it won't change our minds. What the hell is wrong with you? Considering this all started with your own child, I figured you'd have a bit more empathy. Superman leaps out of the chair, ready to slam Plastic Man into the ground, and the Flash stomps him. Plas, it's time to go. Flash and Plas both walk out, and Flash tries to talk him down, telling him that he's sorry, but it's time for Plas to go with Plan B. And he wraps up and incapacitates the Flash, so that he can take the Flash's shape. He quickly works his way all the way back to the Hall of Justice, where as the Flash, he tricks Cyborg into showing him the prison's weaknesses, and then he stops by their armory on the way out for a few Green Lantern rings. Then, with his plan all laid out, he gets to work by having a chopper drop him off above the underwater prison, and he turns himself into some dead weight to float to the bottom without worrying about the pressure. While he was a deadbeat father who was never around, even he won't leave his son in the prison. So he gets down to one of the weaknesses and he oozes his way through, and then he knocks out one of the guards, taking his identity. Then, as the guard, he makes his way into the cafeteria where he sees the infamous Green Lantern, Kilowog. I'm not who you think I am, friend. I'm here to get you out, but I need to find a shapeshifter that was just brought in. Kilowog continues to munch on his sandwich. You'd be down with the other superpowered individuals. All right, I'll be back to get you out, but I'll need your help. I need all of the attention on this room. Ha! Easy. So Kilowog stands up and he walks over to Bane. Hey Bane, I don't know how to properly insult your mother in your language, so he headbutts him, starting a prison riot. Plas then walks his way down to the superpowered cells and he sees a massive lock. The voice in the intercom begins to talk to him. There you are, Plas. I was told to watch for you. You won't be able to get past the lock. It's the most advanced in the world. So Plas shoves his entire hand into the lock, fiddles around, and then pulls out his middle finger in the shape of a key. Hey, look! I found the key. He opens up every cell, freeing all of the villains like Killer Croc, Livewire, and Gorilla Grodd. And that's when the rest of the League gets the alert, and they begin to move quickly to the prison. Plas runs into the cafeteria and yells for Kilowog. Hey, stop fighting! And just then, the warden appears from the vents. It's Metamorpho. Oh, hi, Rex! Every conflict is instantly stopped as Superman is knocking on the glass dome over their heads. All a part of Plas's plan, though, as he yells, Kilowog, catch! And he throws all of the Green Lantern rings to the imprisoned Green Lanterns. Sinestro panics on the other side of the dome, and he fires a beam through the glass, breaking it and killing Kilowog before he can put his ring on. Kilowog looks down at the wound on his chest, and he falls to the ground around all of the Green Lanterns getting their powers back. Plas stretches himself out to cover the ceiling and keep the water from getting in. We need this glass! Take this belt, Luke! And he throws a belt down for Luke to put on. But Captain Cold is the one who realizes that that is actually Miro Master's belt. Luke opens a portal on the glass, and Plas stretches himself to his limits to keep the water out. Stretch out now, Luke! Get everyone out of here! And eventually, there is only Plas stretching so thin that he's literally tearing himself apart. Luke stretches his neck out to talk to his father. Dad, come on!
Lucky me, pansit canton kasalopak.
Oh, come on.
Busog na.
It's getting good. What is this? Ad. Is this for stats? And then more ads. And then even more ads. Alright. Man, this does make me want to go back and watch it on the computer again. But it won't be 60 FPS.
Go on without me. Of course you can. But you know what I think? I think you like the drama. I think a screwed up part of you would actually rather sacrifice yourself here than escape and hang out with me. Plas thinks about it. That's actually pretty insightful. He smiles and he takes Luke's hand, allowing the both of them to get out of the prison. And with that, all of the villains, the Green Lanterns, and Plas are all in Mirror World, ready to leave, free from the Justice League's underwater prison. I know some of you are criminals, it's kind of what you do, and I know some of you are truly nightmarishly evil. I'm trying my best to ignore my responsibilities and let you run around continue being little shits. But my son was locked up for standing up against Superman. So let's make a deal. Focus most of your evil on Superman and make his life a living hell. And I'll let you all walk free. Croc's the one that looks up. Sure. And everyone leaves,
Sure.
going back to the real world, leading us to year 5. The villains are free. So what's gonna happen next?
Here we go. I think this one is like 4 volumes.
The villains have been
'Cause
freed
this took
upon
on
the
for a
entire
while.
world, and Superman's regime now needs to get all of the villains back. Cyborg is tracking the reports while Flash is running around the world getting them for him. Eventually, Flash ends up in Metropolis where he finds a bunch of villains and he asks Cyborg to send in some help. The Cyborg tells him most of the team is preoccupied, such as Hal facing off against Parasite as he's eating Hal's yellow energy, and Diana dealing with the aftermath of alienating her entire Olympian family. But the villains on the loose aren't the only ones looking at this as a chance. The Rogues have been rounded up by Batman because the Rogues are the only villains with a code of no killing. While they are villains, Batman can at least trust them not to murder, more than he can say about Superman right now. Flash finds himself being overwhelmed by the number of enemies he's trying to solo until Superman arrives. His reputation has far exceeded him at this point, and every villain puts their hands up, telling him that they quit. But up in space is one villain that won't give up. One villain built to dispose
Doomsday.
of Superman. Doomsday, and he is rocketing down to the planet ready to show Superman that he is nothing. He lands with a crack, breaking the ground beneath his feet, and the Flash is back as he lands on him from space. Meanwhile, across the world, Bruce and Selina are having a meal at a diner, where Selina asks what the plan is. He is crazy. This is too much, even with the villains on his side. How is he going to fight against the Justice League? It's the League. Back with Superman, he walks up to Doomsday standing on the Flash and uses everything to crush
Jeez.
Doomsday's face.
That
Doomsday
face
is
is
launched into a
gone.
nearby building, and then Superman turns to the villains. Don't even think about trying to escape. Wouldn't even dream of it, love. Then he takes off into the sky to continue the battle, but Doomsday returns the hit by jumping back on him, elbowing Superman in the jaw. He grabs Superman by the throat, and Superman responds by throwing Doomsday back. I'm tired of these games. Who sent you here? Did Batman put you up to this? As he charges in for answers, Doomsday hits him again, throwing him into space, and then back down into orbit where he lands in Gotham. Superman grabs a chunk of a bridge, lifts it up, and crushes Doomsday with it. It's still not enough as they are throwing blows back and forth, and in the distance, Bane comments how he's late to the party. At the same time, Wonder Woman sees the fight on the news and she flies
Yeah,
to
this is
Superman's
how
rescue only to
Superman got
arrive as
Doomsday
Bane is
to be on
leaping
their
into the
side.
middle of it. Panicked that Superman might not be able to take them both on, she shockingly sees Bane land on Doomsday's back,
collar
hitting
and
him and then
everything.
holding him so that Superman can finish him off. Superman is confused, but he knows that this is his chance, and he hits Doomsday so hard that he knocks him out. Then Wonder Woman grabs Bane by the back of the neck and holds him up. What's your plan, Bane? I want to prove that I can be a better friend than an enemy. We both hate the Bat. I don't hate Batman, but we'll talk about this later. With that, Superman leaves instantly to remove the threat of Parasite that is hounding both Cyborg and Hal Jordan at this time. He takes Parasite into space and then he launches him into the sun. No more Parasite.
just
and then
straight
when
up
asked
dead.
what he did, he simply
Just
told
throw
everyone
every
it was
solution you
handled.
have
The
by
League
throwing
had
them to the
differing
sun.
opinions on how to handle the Bane situation with him on their side now, but Superman told them that he was there. It wasn't a democracy. Meanwhile, in Germany, a pale-faced, confused
there
man
it
is
is.
wandering around saying, me, me, me. The next day, Superman and Cyborg go over the
Bizarro.
records to see who they have in
Lex's
prison.
creation.
60% of the villains are still at large. But during the discussion, Wonder Woman takes Superman into the sky to ask him about himself. He is shutting down and trying to carry this burden alone. She explains that they have all been in this fight for 5 years. All of them, not just Superman. And he needs to remember this. She is against employing dangerous criminals. And Superman watches her
Superman
flying
got a new
away.
suit now as
Duly
well.
noted. Our mysterious pale man keeps wandering until an elderly man finds him. He questions the confused boy and he wraps him in a red towel. And at that moment, the man recognizes him. I know you! You're Superman! Meanwhile, Catwoman meets with Penguin to see where he stands in this whole fight, only to see Bane and figure out that Penguin's with the regime. Bane is strong, but Catwoman is fast and she manages to dodge him, leaping out of the boat that they are on and onto a frozen bay. It's Frost, and she has managed to freeze the bay, giving Bane the chance that he needs to catch up. Then he breaks the ice and catches Catwoman since Frost froze her legs. He hauls her off and chains her up as a prisoner of the regime's new villains. Bane will find out the location of the Bat. Back with the man who is obviously a clone of Superman, the old man Superman sews him a Superman suit. The clone then looks in the mirror and sees the symbol is backwards, and he tears it off. Fix, please. So the man sews it on backwards, and the clone smiles. Perfect. While Batman is getting word that Superman has turned to recruiting villains because they are having a shortage of the strength-granting green pills, this whole thing is about to turn into an arms race to see who can get the biggest and the baddest of the villains on their side. Meanwhile, all of the heroes are beginning to blur the line, such as Damian murdering all of the ninjas chasing him because they wanted him to join back up with Ra's al Ghul. While this is going on, Wonder Woman confronts Superman about Catwoman going missing. Everyone knows Bane captured her, so why isn't she here? There's only one reason, and that's because he's torturing her. But Bane's freezing torture isn't working, so his new plan is to call out Batman. He makes a YouTube video calling Batman out in a direct challenge. And if he doesn't show up to the old Wayne Manor for this fight, Bane will kill Catwoman.
What's up, Fusion?
Of course, Batman arrives with Harley Quinn and Batwoman at his side, and a whole bunch of people there to film and take pictures. Batman starts off by charging at Bane and then leaping over his head. The crowd boos as they realize Batman isn't actually fighting, he's dodging. And Batwoman realizes that this isn't going to go on for very long. Just when Bane hits Batman in the chest, and Batman fades away. It was all a trick, and Frost isn't happy as she fires a blast of cold power in Harley's direction, starting an all-out fight between Frost, Bane, Batwoman, and Harley. Suddenly, Superman appears with glowing red eyes of determination. Where is Catwoman? Luckily, this was all a part of their plans as Batgirl has tracked down Catwoman. Except Catwoman is being guarded by Killer Croc, which means they're gonna need more time. So Batman joins in the fight for real, having the Batmobile run over Bane and Frost.
Injustice one
Looking
super.
for me? They begin slugging it out with Batman on a super strength pill while Wonder Woman tangles with Harley and Batwoman, while Batgirl is fighting it out with Croc, trying her best to drop him quickly. But as Batgirl is getting thrown around the room, she has a better idea, and she shoves a green pill into Catwoman's mouth. While Batgirl is trying to dodge everything Croc is throwing at her, Catwoman, now with super strength, breaks free and hits Croc over the head with a chair. Batman and Superman begin going at it at Wayne Manor, trading blows back and forth.
Awesome
How long are you gonna keep this up, Bruce? As long as it takes. Why don't you just stop as soon as you turn yourself in for your crimes? Joker deserved to die! What about Ollie and Montoya? Superman hits Batman so hard that he throws him over the lawn, and then Batman gets the message over the radio. Catwoman is free. He pops a smoke pellet laced with lead, and they all flee from the area using their new friend, Mirror Master. But once they are all safe, Catwoman asks to speak to Bruce alone. They step aside and she explains she can't do this anymore. She was almost murdered, frozen to death.
There it
and
is.
she walks off. A short time later, Smallville, Kansas is celebrating Clark Kent Day, a new local holiday that once they unveil the statue gets hit by a storm from Weather Wizard. The rogues are here in force. Across the globe, Cyborg begins getting reports of terrorist attacks all around the globe. Superman isn't happy about that. Add fuel to the fire, Cyborg reports that Superman's armies are vulnerable because Lex has stopped production of the green pills that grant super strength. Batman isn't going to get away with this. Meanwhile, the clone of Superman is watching the news report on the terrorist attacks and decides that this is a job for Superman. Superman flies to Lex to ask him why he stopped, and he explained that the factory was contaminated and corrupted. It'll take weeks to make another one. And the Flash, who was also in the room, asks Superman,
Oh my god. I'm good. It's almost midnight. I don't want to eat anymore.
"Why even bother with the pills? You have supervillains now." "You have a problem with that, Barry?" "You bet I do. And since we're all expressing our displeasure here, I figured I'd let you know that it's a terrible decision." Meanwhile, back with the rogues, they are continuing their plans. Spectacles and the like so that the regime can't claim it's a natural disaster when the wall behind them all crumbles.
Oh, hell
there
no.
stands Superman. He tells them, "Me am Superman." Outside the regime building, Trickster is riding up on his four-wheeler and he sees the red blur and he knew that this wasn't good for his rogue friends. He looked at the hole that the clone made and he could see them destroying the rogues. Mirror Master is already unconscious and that keeps the rogues from escaping through Mirrorland. Batman and his team are getting reports that the rogues are getting demolished, but without Mirror Master, they can't get there and help them out. But it doesn't matter as reports are coming in that the real Superman is on his way to find out what's going on. They are already losing, but Weather Wizard makes a mistake of calling him the fake Superman, and the clone freaks out. "Fake? Me am Superman!" And he hits them with his heat vision at full blast, literally melting the flesh off of Weather Wizard and Heatwave. Golden Glider only survived by making herself intangible and holding on to the unconscious Mirror Master. Trickster is in shock, but he has an idea. He steps inside to tell the fake that he is friend. They've known each other for a while, and while who he is isn't important, what is important is that he's Superman. The clone is confused. "Me am. You know Superman?" He then steps forward and takes Trickster and he rockets off into the sky, giving Golden Glider and the now conscious Mirror Master a chance to escape. Superman, the real Superman, arrives in the scene, only to find two skeletons, and he wants to know what is going on. Meanwhile, back at Batman's headquarters with the remaining members of the Rogues, Catwoman pulls Batman aside to tell him that she's done. This is the end of it. She's not going to risk her life for this. Superman is prepared to murder everyone, and it doesn't matter if that was a fake Superman. We are losing people. Trickster and the clone fly around, first somewhere far too cold for Trickster, then way too hot. But the clone clone wants to know about Superman. Trickster explains that he is Superman. No one can beat him in a fight. He is the leader of the regime, so the entire world fears him. He is basically king. And the clone
that's
thinks
why
about
Catwoman's
this.
a bad guy
Why
in the
me
game.
king? Because you want to protect everyone from the bad guys. Where's Superman's throne? And that's when Trickster explains that there is a fake Superman that took his throne, and he needs to get rid of him. So using his super hearing, he can listen for his own voice. Back at the Hall of Justice, the Justice League is trying to figure out what the red and blue blurs were that they were picking up. Is it actually Superman? And Superman realizes that this is obviously an imposter, and he puts out an all-points bulletin to the entire Justice League. They are needed. He then goes to Lex Luthor to demand to know what he did, and Lex is appalled that Superman would even think that he was involved. But Superman isn't playing games, and he wants to know. So Lex lies to him and passes Superman's heartbeat test, because Lex is the one that made the clone. Meanwhile, over on the interstate, they have pulled over a truck that Harley is driving in hopes that it's Batman's team in the back. They open fire on it only to discover that it's Solomon Grundy.
Solomon Grundy.
He comes out demolishing everyone, so Superman comes in to get involved, and just as he throws a punch, he sees another man throwing a punch. The clone arrived to stop Grundy. He shouts, "You am fake Superman!" And Superman is obviously confused and tells him, "I am?" "Yes, stop right now!" The clone shouts as he hits Grundy again. Superman asks, "Are you from another dimension, a genetic experiment? Where did you come from?" And the clone hits Superman with the full force of his heat vision, shouting, "Stop asking stupid questions!" "All right, fraud, we'll do it this way," Superman says, hitting the clone hard across the face and throwing him into the sky. But now Grundy is slightly annoyed that he's being ignored, and he hits Superman in the stomach. The clone
dare
comes back,
ignore
hitting
Grundy?
Grundy hard. "Leave not me alone!" The clone then grabs a car with a person in it and tries to throw it at Grundy.
Oh
but
my God,
Superman
someone's in
catches
that
it and puts
car.
it back down, just as Grundy grabs Superman by the foot and throws him down. So the clone grabs another car and gets ready to throw it at Grundy, only to have Hal Jordan grab it from him. Hal decides that too many people are in danger, so he puts down a dome around everyone, welcoming them to the Lantern Dome. He then asks Superman, "Who is this imposter?" And Superman tells him, "Some bizarre approximation of me. Bizarro Superman, sweet." Clone says his own name. "Bizarro? Shut up!" he shouts, forcing everyone back. Bizarro decides that he's receiving no respect, and he takes off, shattering the Lantern Dome. Superman would have chased him, but Grundy decides that he isn't done with Superman, and he pulls him back. So Superman rips his head off. He drops
Again.
Grundy off at Lex, telling Lex to figure out a way to make Grundy work for the regime, even if it takes brainwashing. He then takes off to figure out this bizarro situation, leaving us at the close of Volume 1.
Yeah, it's getting crazy, right? But they're setting it up for the
Damian
game.
walks downstairs into the Batcave where he informs
Oh,
Alfred
no.
that
Oh, I
Batman's
forgot
never
about
going to
this.
use this cave again. It's pointless to clean it up. Alfred disagrees and Damian asks him, "Honestly, do you think that Batman can stop Superman? How can you possibly pick Batman over Superman?" And Alfred tells him he shouldn't measure himself against Batman or Superman. Damian shouldn't as well. Then he wants to know, why is Damian here? To debate Batman versus Superman? The world's a safer place due to the regime, Alfred. You can't deny that. But at what cost? Alfred asks him, as Damian looks at the cases containing the Robin's costumes, except that Nightwing's costume is missing. Alfred explains that it went missing a few years ago, and he asks Damian if he knows anything about that. Damian tells him, no idea, and he walks out of the Batcave. But before he goes, he asks, why do you think Batman's going to win this? And Alfred tells him, because Bruce is smarter and fearless. Superman's always been governed by fear. He will always be afraid, and that's why he'll lose. Meanwhile,
Damn.
Catwoman and Harley are stealing some jewels because Catwoman tells Harley that she quit the insurgency. And as they try to escape with their new haul, they run into Damian. Harley turns to Catwoman to ask what she wants to do about this, and that's when he throws a baton to the back of Harley's head. Catwoman jumps in, calling him a coward, and he
just
tells her,
loves throwing
it's
batons,
strategy,
huh?"
you should try it sometime, as she swipes at his side, cutting him up, and then jumps off the building. Damian follows after her as Harley is rubbing the back of her head, and then Damian corners Catwoman, telling her to stop running from the regime, and she tells him that she wasn't. She was letting Harley get away with the score. Then, Damian decides to ask her why she quit. She throws tear gas in his face, telling him that she's doing her own thing now, something that he should consider, and she leaves him standing there, still thinking about things like how he's standing against his father with Superman, and how he is to blame for the death of Nightwing, even though it was a mistake, and how he doesn't know where he belongs. He comes crashing down in front of Gotham's baddies: Scarecrow, Mad Hatter, Black Mask, Tweedledum, Tweedledee, and Man-Bat. It really isn't challenging for him to drop each and every one of them, even when they try to attack him all at the same time. But eventually, they get more of their henchmen to arrive, and the whole group finally gets the better of him as they beat him down. And that's when Nightwing, Dick Grayson, begins to float overhead. Ever since year 3, Dick has become the new Deadman, and using his powers of possession, he saves Damian's life. Damian blacks out and he wakes up with Cyborg tending to him and a package nearby with a letter. What are you waiting for? Happy birthday, signed Dick. In the box is the old Nightwing costume. As Dick watches over Damian, Superman comes into the room and Dick remembers Bruce's biggest fear is that Damian would be seduced by the darkness. Who would have thought that it would be Superman? The next day, Superman gets a report about a new resistance movement, one invoking the name of Joker, and they're assembling over in Gotham City.
right?
They want to use the name of the Joker to stand
But
up
people
against the
don't like
regime,
that
but
this
Batwoman
series-
breaks into their
Let me pause this for a bit. People don't like that this series is hella out of character for a lot of people. That's why some, true DC comic fans see this series as like a scapegoat.
latest meeting, and Harley is in there already. They explain that the Joker is a psychopath, and if this group is willing to drop the name of the Joker, they can work together with the insurgency. The leader tells them that he needs to talk to his followers, and Batwoman and Harley leave, only to have Superman break through the ceiling and use his heat vision to roast everyone alive. Meanwhile, the clone of Superman, Bizarro, is currently with Trickster, his one and only friend. Trickster is trying his best to explain to Bizarro that the other Superman is a bad Superman, and he should get rid of him. He offers to help Bizarro, since, they're friends forever. And Bizarro sneezes and blows out a wall, almost killing Trickster. So Trickster explains to him, you need to cover your mouth with your hands when you're going to sneeze. It's only polite. Then he tells Bizarro that he's hungry, and he explains what a hamburger is. The two bestest friends in the world fly over to a Big Belly Burger, where Bizarro declares that the new better Superman likes burgers. But when some local thugs get irritated because Bizarro threw his trash onto a guy's head, Trickster ends up getting into a fight with them and winning. When one of the thugs pulls out a gun on his friend, Bizarro uses his heat vision to roast the guy. Trickster tries to explain that he really appreciates the help, but Bizarro can't be killing people around all of these witnesses. So Bizarro declares, no more witnesses, burning everyone there. He then grabs the Trickster and he launches into the sky to get away. Since Trickster is acting angry, Bizarro asks him, still mad? I told you I ain't mad. Seem mad. I'm not. Sure. Damn it, I told you I'm not mad. Bizarro asks him, you no friend anymore? And Trickster apologizes. He explains that this is his fault for not being clear, and they're gonna be pals forever. With that, they continue to fly, until Bizarro has to sneeze. He takes both his hands, and he covers his mouth, and then smirking, he says, did good, me cover mouth. Only to realize, he dropped Trickster. He looks down and he sees Trickster's smeared body across the rocks, very obviously dead. Hal Jordan flies over the destroyed Big Belly Burger to report that it looks like Superman himself did this, and Superman tells him it has to be an imposter. While Cyborg begins looking for him, Bizarro flies back to the old man that helped him when he first arrived, begging the old man to fix his friend. The old man tells him that he can't, and Bizarro refuses to listen. Fix! The old man tries to call for help, but Bizarro stops him, and the Cyborg gets a report about the fake Superman. The real Superman flies over there, tearing down the wall, demanding to know where he is. Because Bizarro went to Lex Luthor himself, demanding, thanks! Lex is confused, and Bizarro tells him, you made me! You and me, father! Lex is even further confused because yes, he made the clone, but the clone shouldn't know that. He then comes up with an excuse. I found you in the ice. You crash landed here from a far, far away planet. He then asks Bizarro to walk into a test tube while he, figures out how to fix Trickster. Lex needs to figure out a way to get rid of this clone because if Superman ever finds out that he was behind it, it's going to be the death of Lex. At that exact moment, he gets a report that the Flash is here to talk to him. Thinking fast, Lex sends Bizarro to his, home. Yes, that's where you'll find your origin. The place he leads him to is the Fortress of Solitude. Then as the Flash is sitting in his office, Lex activates the Seek and Destroy protocol. As Bizarro walks into the Fortress of Solitude, he is excited. Is he home? When Doomsday hits him from behind. Cyborg reports it to everyone. Lex found the clone and no one's going to believe this. He's in the Fortress of Solitude. Bizarro and Doomsday go back and forth with Bizarro confused until Doomsday launches him into the sky and then jumps after him, slamming him back down into the snow. Superman arrives telling Lex that he found them, and then he asks Lex if he has control of Doomsday. Once they caught Doomsday, Lex puts some mind control on him, and he warns Superman that if Superman is also there, it might confuse the programming in Doomsday. As Bizarro gets back up, he sees Superman and he tells him, Superman, we have brothers! Until Doomsday smashes him from behind again. Superman asks him, you expect me to stand here and spectate, Lex? And Lex tells him, if you want to see what this mind control is capable of, yes, fine, Lex, but let me be clear, I want this clone alive. Bizarro and Doomsday go back and forth, and Lex thinks to himself, the programming is holding. Doomsday can tell the difference between his targets, but somehow, he's still losing to this clone. Superman sees the same thing. Doomsday is losing, so he decides to fly in to ensure the imposter is properly disposed of. He cracks Bizarro over the jaw, throwing him back, and then he stands in front of a controlled Doomsday. That's when Lex sees his chance. He changes Doomsday's targets to all. He then slams Superman from behind at that moment. Cyborg reports that Doomsday hits Superman. What is happening, Lex? And Lex tells him, I told Superman to stay out of this. It'll confuse the programming. While Superman begins to battle against Doomsday, Bizarro gets back up. Superman hit me, and then he jumps back in, beating on Superman. So me hit Superman! Both Bizarro and Doomsday begin to beat down Superman, and Lex thinks to himself, I only have to watch at this point. While Cyborg is reporting that backup is on its way. He watches them beat down Superman over and over, and he sits there thinking, this is it. I just stand here. But then he finally decides that he is not a murderer, and he puts Doomsday back on Bizarro only, just as the Flash grabs Superman out of that mess. Doomsday gets a chokehold on Bizarro, and he grasps his skull tight. Bizarro struggles, telling himself, hurts so much! Pain hurts! And then Superman hears a crunch as Doomsday kills Bizarro. Superman runs over. No! But it's too late. He picks up Bizarro's body, and he carries him back to LexCorp, where he throws him on Lex's desk, and he tells him, I wanted him alive. Run every test you have and let's figure this out. He then leaves Lex alone.
Yeah, there's like 4 volumes of this. This took a while.
And now, Harley Quinn is riding on her motorcycle up to the home of Billy Batson because she kind of likes that Shazam guy. She looks at him.
She kind of likes that Shazam.
Can you turn
guy.
into Shazam so that I can smush him with my hammer? No, Harley. Go home. I was afraid you were going to say that. So Harley pulls out a gun and points it at his friends. Transform or I'm going to shoot one of them. Billy finally agrees, but says that they need to move the fight to an empty mall. And he says the magical words, Shazam! At the mall, Harley asks him one simple question. Why are you on Superman's side? He's a horrible super despot. The worst ever. You're one to talk, Harley. A minute ago, you were gonna shoot a kid, and at the start of this, you were all about clowns and nuclear bombs. I wasn't actually gonna shoot the kid, and I was in a transitional phase. If you stayed with Superman, then put him up. I'm not gonna fight you, Harley, Shazam says as he turns his back to her, only to get hit by her hammer and thrown across the parking lot. Everyone else might be short on the strength, granting green pills, but Harley has her own collection. Shazam gets back up with the speed of Mercury, slamming Harley into the ground, tearing up the asphalt with her body. Then she kicks him in the chin. What's your problem with me, Harley? Why are you with the regime? She shouts as they run at each other and begin swinging their fists. Why do you care? Because I like you, Shazzy, and you should know better than to side with Super Bum. We're the good guys, Shazam tells her, throwing her down. Are you? Your boss killed 200 innocent people in cold blood less than a week ago. That's who your fearless leader is, liar. That wasn't him. Then Harley gets up, leaving him to ponder that, and she drives off. Meanwhile, at Wayne Manor, Alfred sits in his chair.
No.
The polite thing to do would be to knock. Sadly, you took leave of your senses long ago, and he looks up to see Superman floating over him. You think I'm insane? Is that it? I choose not to say what I think. You had plenty to say about me to Damien. My life is ruled by fear, is it? So that's why you're here? To offer your seething disapproval for my opinions? Or do you intend to bully me into retracting them? I don't care what you think, but what I do care about is where is Bruce? Alfred puts down his book. The years are catching up with me. I can't stay up as late as I used to. Let yourself out. Then, Alfred walks away from Superman. Get back here! Good night, Mr. Kent. And Superman's eyes burn with rage. Elsewhere, Batman flies his Batjet to a remote location in the Himalayas where an unlikely ally is asking if he can help. Hawkman wants to join the fight. The next day, Alfred wakes up to find his home filled with balloons because he won't tell Bruce Wayne his birth date, so Bruce is forced to guess. And his guess is that this day is Alfred's birthday every year. It's a tradition. Their talk quickly turns into how frustrating it is. Bruce can't seem to find a way to win this fight, and Alfred tells him that he has to. The world needs Bruce. As he hangs up the call, his watch goes off, alerting him to the presence of someone in the Batcave. He runs downstairs to find Victor Zsasz in the Batcave. Victor Zsasz is one of Batman's oldest villains, and he's a serial killer that cuts his...
See, when we get to Injustice Year 2, or the Injustice 2, the game, in the story mode, it confuses the hell out of us because in Injustice 2, things were different. Like, Damien killed Victor Zsasz there, but in this one, he's still alive, so, you know, weird. And that was like the prequel as well, in the flashback.
Skin for every person that he kills. He's a master with surgical precision when it comes to knife fighting. Victor asks Alfred, where's Batman? And Alfred tells him, if I knew, I wouldn't say. And Victor smiles, I was hoping you'd say that. He pulls out his knife and begins to battle with Alfred. While Alfred puts up a good fight at the start, it doesn't take long for Victor Zsasz to get in his little cuts. One on Alfred's shoulder, then in his knee, and then on his stomach. Victor tells him, just call Batman on the Bat computer. It'll end. But Alfred refuses, telling Victor, why would I do that? I'm about to stage a daring comeback. And as Alfred falls defeated, he asks, who sent you? And Victor guts him, telling him, the devil. A little time passes and Damien decides to visit his old friend. While he is with the regime, he still makes time to come and visit Alfred occasionally. he comes down the steps to the Batcave, singing a little song. Happy birthday to Alfred. Nothing else rhymes with Alfred. Don't even know if it's your birthday. Happy birthday to... And then he sees it. Blood pooling on the floor, and his dearest friend dead. Damien brought...
Yeah. Zaz got the Alfred.
information of the death to the regime, where they went over the notes that Victor was there for information, and there's no doubt that someone put him up to it. The regime decided that they would figure out how this happened, and the Flash and Cyborg walked into another room to see Damien with bloody knuckles punching the floor, furious over the death of his friend. They tell him that they really don't have words for this, so anything he needs, just ask. And he tells them, I need Victor Zsasz. Elsewhere, in Gotham, Batgirl, Batwoman, and Catwoman all meet up, and Batgirl says that Bruce is off-grid, so he must be searching for Zsasz somewhere right now. None of them know what to do, so they decide that they're going to start setting up funeral arrangements, and they leave. And Victor Zsasz, he knows that he's doomed, and he climbs out of a sewer, steals a car, and with a worried look, he begins to try and drive away, until his car is hit on the side by the Batmobile. As he crawls through the windshield trying to figure out what's going on, he sees Batman standing in the cockpit of his Batmobile, walking towards him. He knows what this means, and he runs to the nearby alley while Batman gives chase. Batman throws two batarangs, cutting up Victor Zsasz's knees, dropping him, and then he jumps on him, beating him repeatedly, demanding the answer to one single question. Who sent you? Was it Superman? Who sent you? Zsasz tries to speak through his broken mouth. That's all you want to know? Yes! Shouldn't have told me that. So Batman beats him again, and then Damien stands behind him. Kill him or I will. You want to kill Victor Zsasz? The real question, Father, is why don't you? Wanting and doing are two different things, Damien. Get out of the way, Dad. And then Damien jumps in to fight against his father. But in the end, Batman can still beat Damien. That's when Superman arrives. Stop lying to yourself, Bruce. You want revenge as much as Damien. No one will judge you for that. Alfred would. You only want Zsasz dead because you want to cover your tracks. Superman denies it, and he flicks Batman aside. Go ahead, Damien. Finish this. Damien
trying to gaslight Batman to join them.
He smiles, but Bruce pops one of the strength-granting pills. Get away from Victor Zsasz! And then he hits Superman so hard that he throws him into a building, and he throws Damien down the alley. Superman gets up, and they leap in to start their fight, one that has been going on for 5 years. 5 years of ideals put to the question. They go back and forth, blood spilling all over the place. Superman using his sheer strength to try and beat Batman, but with the pills, Batman stands a chance, and using his superior fighting style, he drops Superman, because when they both have super strength and they are both equal, Batman can beat him. And then he grabs Superman by the neck and he asks Damien, is this what you want? Do you want me to kill him and end this 5 years of fighting? Is this it? Do you want me to kill Clark and become a killer like him? Am I supposed to believe that you'd break his neck? Are you willing to kill me to save him, Damien? Without a second thought, and Damien throws one of his blades at his own father. Batman drops Superman, catching it. I was bluffing, but you weren't. Nope. Flash runs over telling everyone to stop. Then Diana and Hal both arrive stating that this ends. Give it up, Batman. You don't stand a chance, Hal tells him. Victor Zsasz starts getting up asking, can I kill the Batman? And Damien kicks him across the face, so Batman kicks Damien down the alley again. Flash catches Damien, preventing him from getting harmed. And that's when Diana hits Bruce into a dumpster. So Bruce grabs the dumpster, and as Hal flies in trying to hit him with a yellow ring construct, slams it on top of Hal. Diana jumps in and begins fighting with Bruce, while Flash asks Damien, are you gonna join the bloodbath? You have a problem with the regime, Flash? Damien asks him. Actually, I do. Bruce holds Diana back, demanding to know, did the regime put Zsasz up to this? Did you have Alfred killed? We would never, Bruce, she tries to tell him, and then he hits her with a right hook. Open your eyes, Diana. Every heinous thing that Clark has done, and you let your love for him blind you. And that's when she uppercuts him. How dare you question my integrity? And Hal blasts Batman in the back. With
Still
Batman on the ground, they officially tell him that he will now stand trial for his crimes. They will arrest him. And that's when Flash grabs Bruce and he runs him out of the fight. Off in the woods, Bruce asks him, why did you save me, Barry? And he tells him, Alfred deserves a true funeral, and it wouldn't be one without you, Bruce. Clark won't forgive you for this. I know, and I'll deal with that, Bruce. Barry, you're the only one who can stop this. You have to go back in time to prevent this from ever happening. Too many are dead, and Clark's not Clark anymore, Barry. But we don't know what timeline I would change this to, Bruce. That's not how it works. It can't be any worse than this one, Barry. At least consider it. I'll think about it. And then Barry runs off, leaving Bruce there in the woods alone.
Never did.
Bruce went back to his bunker, and he put on a suit. Barbara walked in to tell him that Kate and Selena are meeting him at the site. Then she saw him looking down at something, a piece of paper. It's Alfred's birth certificate. And Barbara asks him, how long have you had that? Bruce explains, for a while. I didn't want to spoil the tradition. So she asks him, do you think he knew you had it? Absolutely. Alfred knew everything.
August 1943. Here we go.
Now,
made it,
Flash
chat!
returned
We made
to the
it,
Hall of
finale!
Justice to a very angry Superman. He demands to know why Flash let Bruce go, as he grabs the Flash by the throat and he lifts him off the ground. Diana and Cyborg run into the main hall telling Superman to let the Flash go, and the Flash shouts, "Let me go!" as he vibrates at just the right frequency to throw Superman off of him. With lightning jumping off of him, he informs Superman and the rest of them that he let Bruce go to honor Alfred's legacy. And for the record, Superman didn't have Bruce Wayne. He was flat on his back. Rage consumes Superman as he launches himself at the Flash, ready to take his head off, and luckily the Flash dodges it. He then asks him if this is how he treats his friends, so Superman comes back and connects with the Flash's jaw,
Yeah,
tossing him
Superman
into
lost
a wall.
it.
He takes off telling everyone to not come looking for him. He goes to see Iris and she pushes him aside, confusing him. So he ends up at a bar with a man that he thinks is Leonard Snart. The guy says that he's confused and his name's Larry. They begin to talk about the regime until a noise can be heard and the Flash takes off. He makes it to the top of a building where he finds Killer Shark and Girder about to arrest Iris in the name of the regime. At the start of year 5, Superman enlisted the aid of villains to increase his numbers, for those of you who are wondering. He gets into a fight with Killer Shark and Girder as they refuse to leave it to the Flash, and in the confusion, Flash accidentally kills Killer Shark. Iris then steps forward, telling Girder to arrest her. Flash is stunned and he tries to tell Iris that he was here to save her, but Iris and everyone that they are arresting tell Flash that he is one of the regime. He isn't here to save anyone, so the Flash grabs Iris and runs off. He takes her to a rooftop where he asks her why she's doing this, and she asks him if he remembers promising her that he would stop Superman if Superman went down the wrong path. Flash tries to argue that it's not that simple, and Iris tells him that it is. It takes a willingness to accept the consequences. Then she reminds him about a situation 5 years prior, when Superman and Wonder Woman stopped
Will
Galaxor.
Booster.
They crushed the man's spine for protesting their presence in his country, and the Flash stood by watching. Well, that man committed suicide 3 years before this moment. She then explains that the Barry that she knew would give his life to save one person, and he just isn't the man that she thought he was. He brought Iris back, and then he arrested her with Girder and returned to Superman. Superman asked him if he was committed to the cause, and he thought back to Batman asking him if he would be willing to go back in time and change things, and then he thought about what Iris said, and he told Superman he was committed. But Batman started a new plan to hopefully end this once and for all, to get the entire planet against Superman. He broke into the Hall of Justice using Hawkman as cover, and he kidnapped Cyborg and pulled footage out that he was storing. The footage of Superman using his heat vision and killing 200 people who were supporting the Joker. As they hacked into the worldwide network to spread it across the globe, Raven returned to the regime to cause a worldwide blackout to keep the regime from being toppled.
Raven coming
Once
in
the regime
clutch.
saved Cyborg, Superman demanded that he delete his entire database to prevent the information from ever being leaked again. With his options of the Flash going back in time and of spreading the world of Superman's evilness shot down, Batman approached Lex Luthor, since Lex Luthor is secretly a double agent, and he informs him that he is out of options. He tells Lex that he has a weapon that can defeat Superman, but the problem is that this weapon is locked up with a safeguard that requires the members of the Justice League to unlock it. Lex looks at him, the members of the regime, and then he ponders the problem and he looks at the Bizarro clone. This is the answer, Bruce. Your twisted clone. Not exactly. We need the Justice League to turn on your weapon, but who says they have to be from this Earth? You want to
go.
abduct parallel universe members of the Justice League and use them to unlock the weapon? Pretty much. Well, how can we even do this? Easy. Star Labs has been keeping track of alternate worlds for years, and I've been siphoning off the Flash's Speed Force energy since all of this started. Not for this purpose, but we have it. What we need, Bruce, is a device that can turn that energy into something that we can use. A mother box. Yes, and Star Labs has the only one. So the most heavily fortified location the regime has. I have an idea. The idea that Batman has requires him to head out to Indonesia to meet with a man that we haven't heard from. Deathstroke. He convinces Deathstroke to have a last hurrah, a suicide mission that only he can complete. So, Deathstroke climbs up the side of a cliff and drops a teleportation device inside of the building, which teleports him past the front gate. Then Deathstroke drops the 2 guards in his path and walks into the storage
how we
room
found
with
him
lots and
captured
lots of boxes. But
by
once he
Cyborg
finds
and
the
Raven.
mother box, the rest of the guards arrive and he drops every last one of them, calling the situation easy. Then he finds himself up against Metamorpho. Meanwhile, over in the regime's prison where Victor Zsasz is being kept, Zsasz has been murdered and the cameras were shut off. But who did it? Damian Wayne stood over Zsasz, demanding to know which cut was from Alfred, and then he took his vengeance out on the man for killing his friend. Back with Deathstroke, he gets beat around a little bit, but as he puts it, Metamorpho talks too much, and he drops even him. He walks over to the mother box and he downloads the schematics, just as more guards arrive. He drops those guards, but it was enough time for Cyborg and Raven to arrive and capture him. Luckily, he sent a full schematic of the mother box to Bruce and Lex, and they can just rebuild it. Their plan is about to come together. Meanwhile, on another Earth, Another world. One where things went how they were supposed to. A world where Batman and Superman are friends and they're both heroes. Alfred walks out to celebrate his 75th birthday. Everyone is here at the party, from Jim Gordon working at the grill to Barbara Gordon back in her wheelchair. Even Oliver Queen is alive. On this world, Lex Luthor is a villain and he planned a massive attack on Metropolis. Every villain working together, it'll be genius. And the entire Justice League heads off for their mission, all working together as a team. But while they begin to battle the teamed up villains, Batman realizes something and goes to Arkham to see if the Joker is in his cell. And of course, he isn't. Over in Gotham, Joker and Harley are driving an ice cream truck prepared to launch the Joker's latest evil plot, a nuclear bomb in the middle of Metropolis. Harley carries the big bomb with the Joker to the middle of the park, but while this is going on, Batman tracked everything and figured the whole mess out, and he teleported into the park next to them. All of the superheroes begin to soar into the park to stop the Joker, and as he's about to press the button to detonate this bomb, something odd happens. A blinding white light goes off and everyone vanishes. Back in the universe of Injustice, things are about to come to their conclusion as Catwoman approaches Superman to inform him that if he promises to not harm Bruce, she will tell Superman about Bruce's secret base. After everything that's happened, and so many people have died, Catwoman just wants this to end. Meanwhile, in Batman's base, him and Lex are watching the heroes from the other universe in their fight, and Lex tells him that they need to isolate the heroes and teleport them after they handle the villains. Batgirl and Batwoman run in and tell Bruce Superman is on his way, and everyone hears a kathoom as he begins knocking, and the wall comes down as he shouts, Batman! Lex teleports out to keep his cover, and Batgirl and Batwoman run over to the interdimensional teleporter to get the new heroes here. And Batman, he steps out so that he can face off with Superman and distract him. Once Superman sees Batman, his eyes glow red and he lunges at Batman. Back with Batgirl and Batwoman, they look at the console that they were operating, only to see that it has been fried by Superman shooting blindly into the base. So they figure they're gonna have to operate it manually. Superman slams Batman into the wall, telling him, no more plans, no more tricks, nothing, and he throws him through a wall. Realizing that they're going to need more time, they radio Batman to tell him to stall. So as Superman stands over the beaten Batman with Hal Jordan and Diana there, he tells him, face it, Bruce, it's over. So Bruce stands up. I hear you, Clark. Maybe I can accept that it's over. But if you're wondering if I think it was all worth it, I don't know. I do. It was worth every ounce of pain, every drop of blood, because the world is safer with the regime than without it. You've enforced peace on this world, taken guns and bombs out of the hands of every citizen, but along with that, you stole their freedom. No! I've made them safer. This is what mankind needs. It's a police state. Clark, I'm so sorry for what the Joker did to you. You've lost so much, more than anyone should have to bear. But deep down, the Superman that I know must understand that killing him was wrong. An appropriate show of force to avoid war. You are willing to destroy the entire nation of Atlantis. You slaughtered Ganthet and most of the Green Lantern Corps. And this is your show of force? The blood of Oliver, Dinah, Renee Montoya, and Qatar. All on your hands, Clark. And Alfred. No sense in denying it now. Superman doesn't respond to that last remark, causing even Diana and Hal to look at each other in shock. Meanwhile, while Batman is talking to him, Batwoman knows what she has to do. The only way the teleporter is going to work is to bypass the damaged console and sacrifice herself in the energy field. So she gets ready. But back with Batman and Superman, Batman asks him, Clark, is this the world your parents envisioned when they sent you here? Do you think they wanted you to rule with an iron fist? Would Jor-El be proud? Or would he feel like Jonathan and Martha Kent? Superman slaps Batman so hard that he knocks off his cowl, ashamed to see their son, the dictator. And then he grips Batman's throat, a death squad at his side to carry out his dirty work. And that's when Superman realizes what is going on. Batman is distracting him, and he races through the base into the teleportation room, shouting, what is this? Just in time to see the system go off. He sees Batwoman doing something, so he fires his heat vision at her in full blast, disintegrating her. But it's too late. The plan worked. The device ended up teleporting the regime all over the planet, far away from the base, but it also scattered the Justice League from the alternate universe. And as Joker looks up, he saw that he was in a different kind of Metropolis, and so did Batman. I hope you guys enjoyed that insane adventure. If you're still here, you, sir, are the true hero for watching probably one of the longest videos ever put out on our channel. Don't forget to subscribe, because we're going to put together a lot of our old income.
They'll give me a quiz later. It's gonna be a quiz tomorrow if you guys remember all that. But we made it. So yeah, the first year was their breakup. The second year was against the Lanterns. The third year was about magic. The fourth year was about the gods, right? And then the fifth year was like setting everything in motion with the villains and the alternate future, Bizarro, where everyone is now, all that fun stuff. So we're gonna continue this next week, chat, when we play Injustice. on the PS3. We did it though. And I hope you guys enjoyed it for what it is, even if you glanced at it for only a couple of minutes, or you were here for the whole thing. I appreciate it. Also, shout out to the Comicstorian as well, right? Bless his soul for making this video and making his own channel as well, right? Where it entices you to like get into comics by watching his videos. Like if you want to see more than whatever, you just go buy them or read them online, however you want to prefer it. But yeah, there you have it. The whole story of Injustice and how it got there. I have to remember all the characters in Injustice 1 again and learn how to play them. I might figure some of them out, but not all of them. What do you guys think about that, huh? You guys enjoyed it? That was a 5-year comic, and I think year 5 was like 36 issues. Well, in the first year, it was 36, and then year 2, 3, and 4 were like 24. And then year 5, I think they stretched that up to like 40 or something. Because they want to make sure everything is in place. But yeah, next week we're about to find out what the hell's happening. Chat, I could play some games after this and keep the stream going, but I have to cut it off there because tomorrow, tomorrow will be the birthday stream. Because I don't know if I'll be streaming on my actual birthday. I might. Maybe. Who knows? So yeah, chat. A lot of people died as well, right? Green Arrow died. Black Canary got casted away. Commissioner Gordon died. Booster Gold. The Rogues. Who else? How many? Batwoman. Hawkman. A lot of them. Quick Street Fighter 6 match. Tomorrow, bam. Again, we'll play all these games, right? We'll play Tekken. We'll play Street Fighter. We'll play Fortnite. We'll play the games that we're known for tomorrow, okay? When we do our birthday stream. Also, as tradition as well, we're gonna try and break our Mega Man 9 Endless record. I think we did that last year's birthday. We're gonna do that this year as well. So yeah, chat. And that just does about it. Yeah, I know you want to show off that Akuma. Bam, you have to wait just a little bit longer. Hopefully. Well, our matches in Street Fighter is a bit more functional than Tekken, because Street Fighter got that netcode, dog. They got that symbiote. But yeah, chat. Today is just a short stream today, almost 4 hours. Oh yeah, I saw you play it. Don't worry. Don't ask how I saw you play, but I saw you played it. All right. Huh? I know your every move. Bat McCartney 2 played Splitgate 2 for the first time. Huh? I guess I'll have to do a stream where I try out free games and see if they're worthy of my time or whatever. But I'll have a week dedicated to that when we have the time for it, when we're available. Because this week, we're busy with some stuff. Next week, I'll be busy with some stuff. And then the week after that is, the Falcon Brum week. That was amazing Injustice lore video. I hope you guys enjoyed it for what it is. Right? I really do hope you guys enjoyed it. It went on for almost 3 hours. Originally, this was over 7 hours, but I'm not gonna bore you guys with 7 hours of Injustice. That's why they skimmed through it to like almost 3 hours to make it look like movie style. But yeah, even though that comic series is like quote unquote the scapegoat of DC Comics, because everyone is so out of character, everyone is just being thrown there together, and then dying left, right, and center. They focus on characters they shouldn't focus and whatever. And all that fun stuff. For some, not all, for some, it's like an entry point for DC fans to actually check out, DC stuff. Because sometimes gamers be like, oh, I never read DC Comics before. and this might get them because there are some comics out there, especially DC, where it is too much to digest to get into it, right? Where you're gonna read a lot of lore paragraphs in the comics and whatever, and you just want to follow the action simply and just be hooked with it, not reading too much dialogue and whatever. So yeah, it be do like that. So I really do hope you guys enjoyed that video, right? It is from the late great Comicstorian Ben Potter, and they're still running the YouTube channel and like make small clips of it at this point, but nothing new from what I know. So bless that man. I think it's been like 1 year as well since he took his leave off planet Earth to a better place. But yeah, Hornetto's like, try out this new Dragon Ball game, and then one of you is like, try out this new DC game, and then Bam is like, try the Splitgate 2 game. I was like, oh, I can arrange a week of that, a week of just trying out new games while putting in some fighting games there so that you guys have something familiar to come back to. So let me double check my calendar and get everything ready. So next week is like our big Tekken week leading up to the tournament, which I really do hope it becomes a success. The week after that is like the first week of July. I think that's where we're gonna do it. But July 2nd, we'll watch the Injustice 2 video. So maybe we'll just do it the week after, like around July 14th and such. Because July 7th will be Dark Souls 3. July 8th will be Falcom Rum. July 9th will be Injustice 2 of us playing the story mode. July 10 will be Astrobot levels. And then July 11 is still a big blank. We'll figure something out. But yeah, chat, I think that'll be it for me for today. To those of you that have stuck around to watch this with me, thank you guys so much for tuning into the stream. We really appreciate it. And I will be back tomorrow. Maybe early. We'll see. We'll be back tomorrow with some games. Games that we're known for. I might start off super early for this. It depends on if I'm available tomorrow. If not, we'll start at the usual time and try and fit in 12 hours of that. Yeah, we'll do a 12-hour stream tomorrow of just games. So yeah, chat, let's go say hi to Michael Dude, who is streaming IRL right now, playing golf with his dad. I don't know how many raids I can do with people outside IRL playing golf with their parent. So please go say hi to him. Wish them luck in their golf game. Alright? And yeah, thank you guys so much for tuning into the stream. We do appreciate it. Hopefully this cheesecake arrives by tomorrow. If not, I'm gonna crash out. And I will see you guys tomorrow, and we'll play the games that we're known for. Right? We'll play a bit of Fall Guys, we'll play a bit of Fortnite, we'll play a bit of Tekken, we'll play a bit of Street Fighter, and to wrap things up, we will try and beat our score in Mega Man 9 Endless. So thank you guys so much for tuning into the stream. We do appreciate. Oh, maybe some Uno as well if we have enough people. So thank you guys so much for tuning into the stream. We do appreciate it, and I will see you guys tomorrow on our big day, on our stream day, to say the least. So take care, stay safe, everybody. Bye bye.